Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aneria, the Shattered Realm, Session 15. Woo! We are so happy to be back tonight. Everybody is here. Look, full crew. Nobody is cursed.
Like 2 months.
Yep.
No more polymorph.
So excited.
Curse you, flu, and other sicknesses.
Yep.
Chain polymorph.
And curse you, other jobs and working.
Right.
Travel!
Vacations.
Why don't you Colby, just drop your YouTube channel and your family and just do this full time. Okay? All right, cool. Now that we've got that settled. Welcome back, everybody. I'm very excited to have everyone here tonight so that we can get on to the next leg of our journey. We have a destination potentially in mind, which we will find out after a few quick messages. Like, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I said like too many times in a row there.
Pause.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, I just said like, don't forget to like.
Don't forget to like.
Don't forget to like, man.
Exactly. And don't forget to join our Discord. It's a wonderful place to meet new people, see some original cool characters, some crazy fan art, some art that Preston draws on our streams on Friday sometimes. And then you can also see the paint jobs that Scott does on other streams as well. Yep. There's a lot of really cool stuff there.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Mountain Time for the streams. And check out everybody else's channels. Colby's, obviously, if you didn't come here from D&D Optimized, or sorry, D4, thank you.
If you came here from D&D Optimized,
OG.
KOG.
Nice. I'm impressed.
Don't forget to check out Dallin's channel. Mr. Roger reviews everything. He's got some really good Chainsaw Man episodes. If you've ever wanted to know what that was without getting too deep into the weeds, I enjoyed it.
Preston's channel, which is
Cupcake
to be determined.
Yep. TBD. Yep.
Preston draws.
Yep. And who knows, maybe a variety.
You need
right?
a podcast.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Sit and talk to me.
Balance us out a little bit.
Yeah, we're a
little
of
on the video side.
We're a bunch of middle-aged men. One of us should actually have a podcast at some point.
It's true.
We have a podcast.
That's true.
And I have a podcast.
Yeah.
You can find those details below.
Cory and I went through that phase, and Dallin joined us for...
That was fun.
We did like 10 episodes.
15
yeah,
episodes.
It was a lot of fun. It was just a lot of like work and coordination that we weren't quite ready for at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe someday once again. Yeah.
Bring it back.
But wishes aside, because we do not have the wish spell currently, let's go ahead and get into tonight's... Wait! Hang on! I forgot. Thank you to Syrinscape for wonderful sounds that you can hear throughout all of the evening. They provide great noises for your game as well. Not sponsored, but we do like to shout them out because we appreciate what they provide for us. I mean, if you want to like pick up the volume a little bit there, I'm listening.
No, I was making it an antithesis because then you're saying it as quietly as possible.
Okay, all right then.
I thought you were gonna like start singing an ad for Syrinscape. I was waiting for it.
Well, without further ado, I think let's go ahead and get into tonight's episode of the game. And we begin tonight as the rest of the party is helping Leah pick up whatever items she brought with her, saying their goodbyes. We cut over to the other side of Tuskegee's tower, or I guess it's called the Watchtower now, or the Wayward Watchtower. And we find a small study where Madame Talvain has been working diligently to copy the second volume of Adelaide's Tales into a new book. And she does this by taking a blank book, and she'll put her hand on one page, or on a page of the actual book, and run it down alongside the other one, and basically just like full on like printer copy it over. She is.
Does it make?
I can do that too, but I'm a robot, so I was like,
It's a dot.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say dot matrix. Yeah. Just to make dot matrix sounds.
Thank you. It's a skill that really comes in handy. I can't use it for spells, but I can use it for more mundane books.
I don't suppose you could teach someone such a thing.
It requires an education in transmutation magic. Do you have any specific education in that matter?
I might look into multi-classing into wizard at some point.
Well, if that is what you decide, and transmutation is a school that you are interested in, it's probably not. It's probably evocation.
It's
let's
not
be
very
honest.
optimal.
Yeah, I mean, evocation is typically the go-to wedge of study. I never particularly liked it myself.
I was always intrigued by blade singing.
Oh, I see. That's not one that I'm familiar with. That's more of an elf thing.
This is a segue into Alomah becoming a blade singer. We already had that conversation, and I got shot down.
Yeah, do you have any martial training at all?
I do now.
But
Wasn't that one of your like meme comments or whatever? It's like, oh look, another blade singer, or no, it was Hexblade.
It was like it was
Another very human.
Hey, could you do a Warlock Hexblade build? When I read that, I was like, I didn't know. I'm like,
How do I respond?
he's trolling. Like, surely he's trolling. Like, this is the most used subclass of like all of my.
We just respond back with every episode you did.
to the point where
there aren't that many cards.
to the point where I've now limited myself that I can only take
A playlist.
Hexblade on a
Playlist.
build once a quarter.
What's the quarter?
And when I take it, I'm like, the last time I did was in October, so I'm okay. I can do it.
It's not against the rules.
Can you do a Hexblade Warlock build? I'm like, episode 1
Episode 1?
and
5?
episode.
4, 7, 6.
Here's a
7.
playlist of all the.
To be fair, I think I've really only done like a mostly Hexblade Warlock the one time, unless you count the team up Yin Yang
Oh,
That's
that one was
that we
fun.
played for the 10K.
That was
Otherwise, it's usually just a dip, right? So whatever. Sorry, tangent.
No, you're fine. That's what D&D is about, in my opinion.
Tangents.
And
harp
with-
sounds, and now we're back in the game.
Yeah. It is very interesting that the tower actually has a bunch of like little hands playing musical harps around here. Yeah, it's very nice.
Now let's see. I'm assuming. Oh boy, it's been so long since I played. And I am.
That's because you don't play
I'm
very
getting
often.
better at taking notes, but I'm still.
Jesus,
not-
this guy never played D&D before. Or?
I take notes. They mean nothing.
It's
Two
true.
sessions later, it's like
Yeah.
Bob
It's very true.
Babies
was
drink milk.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Baz Vasala.
Baby drinks or milk is for babies.
Milk is for
I
babies.
remember that guy, Khedive Baz Vasala. Anyway, that's right, because his boon to me was okay. Now you're making that sense.
Notes, they work.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I say, we actually got some information about where we might be able to find books 1 and 3.
Really? That's very interesting.
Well, 1 was a little more helpful. 3, not so much. Apparently, according to the Merid water gin that we freed.
She kind of blinks a little bit and looks over, and Wid nods and says, I will tell you about it later.
It's a long story.
Not the craziest thing we've seen.
There's a copy of Book 1 here in Aneria, and from the sounds of the description that we were given, we think it might be in Big Town.
Really?
So
That might correlate with my knowledge. My employer said that they were moving to Big Town. Not employer, the gentleman who bought all of the books from my store said that they were making their way to Big Town. If I had any more copies coming in.
Walking fast. Sand dudes pass.
Well,
Big town.
I hope to be able to join you there soon, but Book 3, we were told, was in what appeared to be a dragon's hoard.
There are no dragons in Aneria.
So
You
they
hear
say.
Bolt cough. Excuse me.
From the other side of the town.
So they say, but until recently, we didn't even know that there was such a thing as a movie.
That's true. It could also be that, Adelaide's tales predate the shattering of Aneria.
Indeed.
Yes, I've actually, I don't know too much about her. I'd like to learn more, and I will be researching that and letting you know anything I do find, obviously. I owe you a great deal. But perhaps there are dragon hordes on the other shards that might have what you seek.
I know I've heard telltale of, what was the planet? I wrote it down.
Dragon place.
No.
Dragon
No. Eternal Empires, no. Big Oceans of
Wrote down more than just
Arconus.
the one.
Arconus. That was the very first one. Arconus, where supposedly kobolds, dragonborn, and dragons themselves live, but unfortunately not currently in possession of a ship that might be able to cross the astral sea.
But they are very hard to come by, for sure. It takes heavy modification or just a lot of dumb luck, from what I understand.
Well, perhaps Bolt might be able to help us in that.
We are full of dumb
He is
luck.
very dumb and unlucky, so maybe between the two. Just kidding.
Wynn does
I am
say-
very smart.
I believe
I'm
they
not
are
wise.
intelligent.
So I guess kind of dumb, depending on the situation.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on what kind of smart you're looking
50%
for.
of the time.
50% of the time, or just every time?
Well, if you do find a way of Konos, I'm sure there's plenty of other texts that might be useful. I would be interested in. Mostly, I'm looking for any other children's stories that you might find these days, but I'd be willing to hope for a rare book or two. That would be delightful.
You don't need to be smart.
I'll keep my eye out when we're in town.
That's it.
I do want to offer you something as well. I do appreciate you went through a lot of effort to save Wynn, who was very important to me. And I wanted to offer you an exchange. For saving my life and for saving hers. I would like to offer to create you a Magen like her. Like them. Sorry. Oh, I haven't already.
Dude, don't look at me. It's your character.
I know, but I always look at you because you're the one who corrects me on that stuff. If you would be interested, I would need the materials for it outside of the ones that I already have, which would be a life-sized doll of the figure that you wish to establish, some information on what kind of abilities you would like them to have, and I believe it requires a vial of quicksilver that you can get from various magical markets. If you provide me that material, I would be more than happy to use a piece of myself to create the Magen for you.
Use a piece of
It
yourself.
requires a bit of vitality. It's something that I have spare of ever since my life has become more mundane, though recent events have been a bit more spectacular. But since I'm not actively seeking adventure or hunting other mages, it's a little bit less. There's a little bit less need to be so hardy, and I'd be willing to share a part of that with you.
Well, I don't know what to say. It's such a generous offer. I'm sure that we, speaking, I suppose, for the watch, could always use extra help in our exploits as we are off trying to right wrongs and do good and so forth. He's like thinking about the inn that he recently burned to the ground, and or putting out fires, as it were.
Of course, yeah. It's always important to make sure to manage whatever issues you crop up.
Well, I
Completely oblivious to the fact that you started a fire.
Personal assassin.
thank you. That's very kind. I will have to consult with the others and perhaps keep our eyes out for quicksilver. Thank you.
Of course. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have been awake for quite a while. So, and she actually is going to close the original copy and pass it on over to you, and then she'll close the other book and hand it to Wynn, and they'll pick it up and just hold on to it. I am going to head home, renew the wards on my establishment, clean up maybe a little bit, and then I'm going to call it a night.
The words we triggered. The alarm is
course,
still going all the time.
I thank you for all the information you've shared. It really has helped me on my path to discover my goddess. And
I will continue to research the book and see if there's anything I can find about why Adelaide left messages about your goddess in her book. That's something I'm not familiar with.
thank you. And I'll keep an eye out for any rare children's books on our journeys as well.
Thank you.
Wynn,
Yes.
thank you for your help in finding your mistress. Without you we never would have been able to bring her back.
My purpose is to defend her, and I would not have been able to accomplish that purpose without you and your companions. It is I who owe you.
Well, in that case, perhaps you'll have an opportunity to repay the debt someday.
I hope so. I don't think I will ever be able to, but I will try.
Farewell.
And to you. And she'll stand up and give you a polite bow, and then walk out. And she does actually stop at the door where the elf that you rescued, which I don't know if you wrote down his name. I certainly.
Regrets.
Nope, that is the gift master.
Reloric.
Yeah.
Ulgamax.
Those are the Mind Flayer and the Elder Brain.
That I have.
You should probably add a descriptor.
I actually
to them.
did put an Elder Brain by
Okay,
Ulgamax, but
good.
not Ilthrigrix. It's just
that's just the yellow
one
bit.
word.
Yep. She will stop by the elf and ask if he would like to, if he would like a place to stay, and she would love to hear any stories that he might offer about the realm that he's from.
I'm gonna maybe hand wave, but just assume that I would have wanted to be peppering him with questions.
Oh, of course.
about
You didn't
Faerun.
have much to do while Chalvain was
copying.
copying the book, so you talked with him extensively about his relationship with the Moon Goddess and everything, and learned a good chunk of knowledge about how the relationship with gods happens in Faerun, and how basically his city is kind of revolves. Silvery Moon kind of revolves around Saloon and their relationship there. Cory doesn't know too much about how that happened because I haven't read those specific. Yeah, I haven't read those specific sections of Forgotten Realms lore or books. But
Well,
the information
Alomah is now an expert.
exactly. Yep.
I'm
So
not,
feel free to do any sort of Googling that Colby needs so that Alomah has the information he needs.
Right.
If you ever make it to Faerun.
I certainly hope that one day we might be able to establish a city like yours. Well met, friend, and safe travels on your journey. So I hope you can find a comfortable home here in Aneria until you find a passage back to your own.
It would be it'd be nice to go home, but until then, looks like I've got some searching to do. Thank you. And again, thank you for saving my life as well.
All right.
Okay. So the three of them will leave, and you are now alone in the tower to do what you wish.
What's a Magian?
No, you're good.
I have no idea what that is.
So a
That's
Magian,
what win is.
yeah, it's
Oh,
a
okay.
specific type of construct. I forgot you weren't there for the three
Okay.
episodes. They're like a construct that a wizard can create. They actually specifically come from the Rime of the Frost Maiden adventure, including the spell to create them. But they typically come in like three varieties. There's like a Demos Magian, which is what Win is, which is like a guard.
Okay.
Then they come in a Galvin Magian, which is more of like they're like a spellcaster with electricity powers. And then there is I believe it's called a Hypnos Magian, and they have more like suggestion powers and that sort of thing, and they help around. They all have like different functions as far as Magian go. So you're able to create any one of those three that you want to pick if you can get her the materials.
Cool.
Or if you'd like to create a custom Magian one that is like can do some minor healing or some minor buffing, that sort of thing. I'd be happy to. Yeah, I'd be happy.
Literally.
Like obviously it wouldn't be an amazing amount
Sure.
of anything just because like they're very limited as far as what they can do. They're like a CR3 monster max.
Okay.
But you might be able to get something that can cast like bless on you or
So
something
you have a
like that
blade
if you
singing
wanted to.
Magian.
A blade singing Magian, yeah.
Personal assassin.
That you could learn from a training Magian that's
there
Floats around and shoots little lasers at you. You have to wear a black shield.
yeah, and mostly like the whole reason that you need a life-size like doll is because they do take on a humanoid appearance and everything. And then once they like drop to 0 hit points, they literally just burn to ash and dissolve away. Wynn is a special case because they've been established longer, but most of the time they're very simple creatures. They're very simple constructs. They listen to orders, they execute orders, and then they stand around waiting for new orders. They don't really have a personality. Okay. So what would you all like to do?
Take a long rest.
Take a long rest.
I just woke up.
Aramis is itching for a fight while everybody else falls asleep. Yeah, I mean, if you guys would like to, you can take a long rest. No issues there.
What time of day is it?
It's probably early in the evening at this point.
Okay.
The conversation with Leah kind of went into the evening itself. Getting her there took a couple hours as well, so it was already mid-afternoon when you received the missive.
It was pretty late when we talked to her, so... Yeah, after taking a long rest, then he'd
Maybe
be
we
plotting
should.
his revenge against Lyra.
I will go ahead and give you a timer.
Tell Colby about that.
Yeah. I will go ahead and give you a timer. You now have 24 days until your court date.
24.
Yep. That will be the end of the month. But I'll say, unless anybody has anything else that they're doing this evening, we can convene the next morning down at breakfast. Burritos again. Huh?
How late is it?
Yeah, like I said, it's probably like
T-Rex burritos.
late into the evening at this point.
So shops are probably closed.
Yeah, shops are probably pretty closed. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
No, I was actually thinking about just going down and try to book us passage to.
Okay.
It was Meadstead, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So taverns are open, which a lot of like airship captains and such will probably be frequenting around there if you're looking to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go to whatever tavern or location close to like where airships dock.
Okay, so you do want to go the airship route?
Yeah.
Because you can do airship,
'Cause
which
it's
is
faster.
more. Yeah, airship's fastest, or not the fastest, but the second fastest and more expensive. Technically, your Helm of Teleportation would be the fastest.
I have never been there.
Yes, teleportation, if you haven't been there or if you don't have an object from there, is spotty at best.
I don't know even an object.
Yeah, so if you look up the teleportation spell, it gives you like, if you haven't been, like if you have an object that was there within the past 6 months, it qualifies for the same.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
it says associated object.
Mm-hmm.
Just grab a Meadstead golem that's like asleep on the highway.
Yeah, just like Meadstead.
Yeah, it depends on if a golem has been there within 6 months. Like, who knows how long they travel for? Who knows where they walked? Because they don't travel fast. They're very much walking. I would say that it would be a percentage chance that you'd find one. And it wouldn't be a that this one is 6 months or less. It would be a maybe, and then try it out.
Okay.
But if you'd like to use the teleportation, that would literally be the fastest method, and it would be the
just don't land
the
before
cheapest, technically. An airship would be about 15 days of travel, and require about 75 gold pieces per passenger. And then it would take you about to take a boat, which is far slower. You would only pay 28 gold for the full journey, but it would take you somewhere around 56 days.
In my travels, have I ever been to Meadstead?
I would say no for this specific purpose, just because you're like, we haven't established it before now.
Maybe we could find somebody that owns something that used to.
Let's go on a pirate
Yeah.
adventure.
Actually,
Let's get in the boat and let's fight stuff.
For the next 30 days.
Yeah, so I'll actually go to the same place.
That would be a lot of fun.
And I'm going to try to find someone that is has shipped cargo or has cargo from Meadstead.
Okay.
And see if I can, or has cargo from Meadstead, so I can try to barter it off of them.
Yeah, bought a souvenir there.
What kind of check are you looking to roll here to call out?
It'd probably be investigation.
Okay.
I think.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. 15. It's not a surprise that most of the cargo captains that you're talking to that end up saying, yeah, we do have something from Meadstead, have mead golems or barrel golems that they've picked up from like the lower river and are shipping their way back.
And I am asking, like, how long have you had it for?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find something, that's been fairly recent.
Yeah, and it's pretty hard to determine. A lot of them are saying we picked them up from the bottom of the river at last stop, basically, because they used to flow down the river and then come out the other side and get picked up by like a Meadstead patrol.
Would I be able to calculate how, based on how fast the waters move and what I know of traveling in an area by boat, how long it takes for a barrel golem to get from Meadstead to last stop.
Yeah, so it's about, I would say that they leave Meadstead and it takes them about, it's about a 20-day journey by cart to get from Meadstead to the river itself, to the Gaius, I believe is.
So from here to here.
Yeah, basically where that outlet is.
Well, I was say Meadstead is on
it has
the river.
It has its own like sub river that's pretty famous. And then from there, after that, it takes about to get down through it. Probably basically, if they're going directly from there, obviously some split off and go into different areas. I would say you can calculate it to be about another like month or two by the time it reaches the bottom of the river.
About 3 months.
But you don't know how long they've been picked up. A lot of the ship captains are like, oh yeah, I mean, we don't really ask how long they've been there. We just pick up a group of them and then send them on up.
That said, I'm guessing that we could travel to like Archdom or something where we've all, I don't know about we, but you guys at least have been and just travel overland.
That's true.
Or I could go to my home, which was in the mountains.
We'll go to the Emerald Wilds, but that's not going to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the
would
travel
be-
distance between Archdom and Meadstead? 'Cause they're pretty close.
Yeah, I'd say that you look about 20 days if you travel on foot. If you travel from airship from Archdom itself, you're probably cutting that time down to a quarter, so about 5 days.
Okay.
That seems good.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
And we
And
know
that-
there are airships at Archdom, right? Because we.
Oh yeah, Archdom has airships all the time around there. That'll be about 20 gold per person, just because it's a shorter journey, but you're still buying the premium of an airship. And you might. It also depends on if you can find an airship that goes from Archdom to Meadstead, because that doesn't seem too common of a trade route.
The right amount of gold will make any airship go anywhere you want.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
The right amount of stabbing.
Yep. So your investigation, you
And
pretty much
knowledge.
determined that
That's not
nobody
a fly.
knows how long a golem has been.
But we got that
The
covered.
wrong amount of
Has been
stabbing
there.
might prevent the ship captain
From moving
being
because
able
you
to
killed the
get
guy
you
who
there.
flies it. Yeah.
because you just killed him.
Mutiny.
It's not that hard to fly an airship.
Certain amount
Before.
of stabbing.
You can stab,
Okay.
but you can't stabby,
Yeah, I'll
stab.
keep the barrel
Stabby.
golem. I'll thank them all for their time. Buy them a round of
Meadstead.
whatever the
Yeah.
whatever the swill on tap is.
It's Meadstead, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have barrels of fine things.
Yeah, sure. Actually, most of the barrel golems that they pick up are empty because they're taking them back upriver. Yeah,
Because they used to go.
and then they just get basically. There's like a section of that outlet of the river has a patrol boat that like scoops
with a
them
big
up.
hook?
Yeah, a big hook that like pulls them to shore or pulls them in, and then they just travel right back to Meadstead. But now
It's like that game where you're on the raft and you go like throw the hook out.
raft.
Is it just called?
It's called raft, yeah. But basically, ever since somebody broke Aneria, according to certain ship captains, that's what happened. The Meadstead probably lost about 10% of its golems that were on their way downriver at the time, and are now just orbiting an area.
Yeah.
Some aberrants.
You know how like you can see sometimes the line of Starlink satellites after they launch? That it's just all barrel golems
Yep.
going around. Okay, and then after that, I'll just go ahead and head back to the tower and go and at the map for a little bit to see if I can find a place closer than Archdom that we've been while wearing the helmet. Just
Sure.
just like get some inspiration.
More so. I mean, not.
Cascas also does not Cascas.
I got it.
Wrong person.
What about
Don't drop the chip. I don't want to.
What's his name? What is his name?
Oh, no,
Kilobix.
never mind.
Yeah, not Cascas, Kilobix. The other K, the other tiny K creature that you guys hopefully like. He does inform you that the others have been, like the other people that you saved have been assigned, or not assigned rooms, but they've been picked up by local like constabularies and such, and given a place to stay for the evening.
Yeah, and whatever amount of gold it takes to basically give them a place to stay, so they can book like the cheapest passage back to where I'm not going to let them pay for an airship. They can get on a regular old cargo barge and.
Yep. The typical way to travel is about 5 silver pieces a day.
Yeah.
And that gets you about 25 miles a day.
Yeah. So I'll give them each like 10 gold.
Okay. Sounds good.
How many are there? There was 5, right?
There were 5, but one of them is staying in town because it's the elf.
So
He's
40 gold.
Yep. And actually, Tarmok refuses the orc. He
refuses the gold?
He refuses the gold, and he says, I will be remaining here for whatever you need.
Oh.
I can do business from here just as well as anywhere else.
Okay. If you need help finding work, perhaps I could ask around and see if anyone has something free.
Of course not. I will make sure that I will do my own work and show you my worth.
Okay. I'm not quite used to the blood debt stuff, so
It's something that surprises a lot of people.
are you usually very independent?
Yeah, usually.
I mean, you don't like accepting help very often?
Not really. It kind of goes against the whole like prideful orc thing.
I mean, some stereotypes can be harmful, you know.
This one is a personal like matter of pride of mine. Like, don't question my personality, please. It makes me very uncomfortable. It makes me question myself.
We should all
Worldview just
work on questioning our worldviews.
I can ask for help, and that's okay.
Yes.
What about hugs? How, like no on hugs still, right?
I mean, if you ask for a hug, do you need a hug?
No, I'm good. And then he leaves.
Do you need to ride in the Bolt Bjorn? Like a big orc baby?
Yeah. A short rest. Maybe for a short rest. Yeah.
I can even turn up the heat a little bit.
From your arm, your burnt arm. Yeah, so he will leave, but without any copper to his name.
Okay, so 30 gold I will give to the other ones.
Yep. Orcs have a very big, like, pick yourself up by your bootstraps mentality.
Okay.
Doesn't often work for them quite the way that they want it to. Just like normal.
Scott's real life power fantasy is to be able to help everyone in need that he possibly can, so it kind of like plays over into the D&D adventure thing.
So yeah, the next morning you can all convene. Bolt probably.
I probably came in late enough that you guys were probably all asleep or, wrapped up in whatever you were doing. But yeah.
So yeah, next morning at breakfast, I think Alomah would just be like,
Right, well, what's our next course of action? We need to get to Meadstead, is that right? It's quite far away.
Well, we've been to Archdom, Victor and I have, so I'm pretty familiar with the place. I could teleport us there.
Oh, that would save us a number of days.
Yes, Kilopix, we know. And a travel to Meadstead by airship, if we could find one. Might cost us some coin, but should only take 5 or 6 days.
I know that you're probably all sick of hearing it, but I'm very interested in finding the rest of these books. I would love to be able to journey to Big Town as soon as possible, and I understand if that's not something that the rest of you would be interested in doing, but
I'm also familiar with Big Town, so once we're done with Meadstead, I could take us there, and then...
Or even on the way, whichever one you want.
Yeah.
True.
Right. We have promised Leah that we would help her sister, help find her sister. I think we should take care of that first, then we could hit up Big Town on the way back.
That's acceptable to me. That helmet was handy.
Thanks to whoever got that for you.
Some random person.
Some random generous person.
Well, all right. When will we be off? What do we need?
Whenever you guys are done with breakfast.
or sometime travel can mess with your stomachs. Perhaps not wait till you'll eat until you get there. We had some previous companions.
Yeah, you've got two
burritos.
Never mind.
because that is like the chef's specialty now.
Right.
Is like
Got mutton and
pulled
beef.
pork.
Is it just like nothing but beef?
Yeah,
in
for Alomah,
tortilla?
yes.
Not even eggs. Like dogs and stuff eat eggs a lot.
it's a hock of mutton with tortilla around.
just draped
with
over
the
the top.
bone.
Literally
Stick over
holding
the top.
the bone.
Yeah.
That's like a toothpick. Holding the tortilla.
And yes, you do that dog smack like thing where you. Yeah. Kilbix does enter in and he goes, Master Bolt, I just wanted to let you know that we were able to recover that owlbear as well.
Oh, very good.
It is currently in the garden. Helm is trying to get it to stop eating all of the Luna berries.
That sounds dangerous.
Actually, the thing seems pretty docile, at least with Helm around. The adventurers who dropped it off were very
Really covered
quiet.
in scratches and stuff.
They were a little more wary,
in blood.
but Helm seems to be doing okay with it.
Well, that's good. Feel free to use any supplies you need to fence off the area and get some food for it. It likes Luna berries, but that might not be its whole diet. So,
Of course, I will. I have already been doing research on owlbear. Then I will do a little bit more.
good. And the griffins don't mind.
As long as the owlbears keep out of the sky, I'm sure it'll be fine. But who knows if an owlbear sprouts wings? Like I said, I need to do more research.
And as a personal favor, perhaps the shards of
Can
John...
we crossbreed them?
The shards
Yeah,
of
I'll
John
work.
can go and clean up the pellets whenever there's problems, and
The shards
The shards
of John? Is John okay?
I assume he is. We had a little bit of a tumble. Yesterday.
What happened?
Well-
Was I there? I think I was there.
Well, you know that broken window on like the 6th story area?
Yes, I am aware.
I jumped off the top of the tower.
What?
Fully expecting it was my broom,
It's okay,
but
it's
it was
normal.
not. It was John masquerading, trying to kill me. So I cast him out of the building, and I think he hit the ground, probably a little bit splintered, but wanted to let you know.
I did think I saw 2 Johns wandering around.
Oh yeah, we established that.
Yeah,
Breaks
it's Fantasia rules.
yeah. It's either that or it's got like, you know when a shovel handle breaks and it's got that big piece, it's just got some like tape around it.
Yeah.
One morning, Preston's gonna wake up in the middle of the night, and there's gonna be like 10 Johns, like just surrounding his bed.
They all just.
Yeah.
They've just been
This feels like
biding
the
their
Curse of
time,
Strahd module.
waiting until they have enough duplicates.
I mean, mimics. Apparently, he has some pretty strong prejudices against mimics and brooms.
Yep.
Some brooms.
Animated objects.
Animated objects in general. Yeah.
Objects that shouldn't move, but do.
Yeah.
Whether it's because they're a mimic or because they're animated in some way.
Precisely. So it's all.
You should be a statue.
So maybe he has. Well, he's gonna.
I'm just biding his time, just waiting.
Conflicted.
I will make sure that there is proper assignment to the tower. Do you wish John to have that assignment for owlbear droppings?
Only for a few days. I want him to understand what he did was wrong.
Of course, I will make sure that
Being split in half.
he is aware of why he is getting the duty that he is getting.
He will pick up the duties.
Not
It's his
I
duty.
assure you.
I like Alomah just. You said duty.
Back to burritos. Well, if there's nothing else, good luck on your adventure, on your journey,
Thank you.
and I hope that you make it back safely.
I always do as well. Hopefully, if there's something that happens, please send me a message.
Of course.
Well,
Are you
that
ready?
was delicious. Let's go.
Everyone got your things?
Okay.
You all used the bathroom before.
Hold on.
Are you
remembering
sure?
the bathroom in a D&D game?
The last time we. That's like all the kids.
Also,
Like,
who
oh,
needs
man.
healing potions?
Yes, check for healing potions.
I got one.
Anybody need to change any spells up? Make sure they refresh any charges on things. I think some of you have magic items that need to be recharged today.
Cory finally got us a list of
I did. I finally got you all your magic
I had to go
items.
and add those.
Preston, I believe your goblet, you need to roll a 1d4 and -1 to see how many charges you get back from it.
Has 1 currently.
No, it has 0.
Oh,
You
did
used
you
all
use
3.
the last
Yeah.
one?
1d4 -1, so that is 1 -1.
So 0 today. Yep, because it can be
He
0.
goes up and he.
Yep.
Thank
Basically,
you.
they're all the gems are broken in it.
They're all kind of broken.
Do they just like crack?
Mhm.
Like,
Yep, until they were recharged, and then
They need more stormlight.
Yep, exactly. And then your Helm of Teleportation actually does require
attunement.
a reroll or a recharge, doesn't it? Because it should have only like 3 charges, and then it regains 1d3 or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, which you've only used 1 charge, so I'm going to assume that you get that last charge back.
Yeah, it says 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn.
Yeah.
D3.
Roll a d6. 1 and 2 is 1. 3 and 4 is 2.
Or is it 1 and 4 is 1? 2 and 5.
However you want to do it, really. Like, just assign 2 numbers.
Okay. It gets 1 charge back.
Yeah. Which is all you needed anyway. So,
Yeah.
like I said,
One is all you need.
1 is all you need.
One is all you need.
I don't think that anybody else had any magic items that they had used charges on, mostly because I didn't have the magic items over to you, so you forgot you had them. Because I remember Colby, you being like, "Oh, I'm out of spell slots," and I'm like, "You have the Arcana gauntlets. You have the Astronomer's boon that last night you could have done. The one of Fairy Mischief, yeah. There's a
I didn't want to use the Astronomer's boon.
Okay.
Because I was thinking it was going to take us longer to get there.
So
I
this
guess it still will.
Boon
so.
of Prismatic Sight is
Yes.
not an equipment item,
It's
obviously.
a feat, actually.
Thank
That
you.
is a feat, and same with all the
Can you
other
add it
boons.
as a feat?
Yep, you can add custom feats.
Can I add it as a foot?
No, you have to add it as 2 feet. Unfortunately, it requires 2.
I don't see Boon of the
Two, I mean,
It's called
3
the boon of the ward.
3 feet are the.
It's the only one that I
stable,
accidentally put
so-
the in front of.
Got it.
But I can't edit it once I share it with the.
You have to make a second version of it
Yeah.
or whatever.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem.
I like mine. When you described it, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually added something to Aramis's boon as well, because as far as your boon goes, it was the least spectacular of the 4 trial completions. Like, yeah, you got 2 magic weapons with it, but like it could have been a little bit better. So, I guess we will convene again in the teleportation room, in the portal room that is set up. That seems like the best place to.
It's more
teleport out of here.
ceremonial at this point.
Yeah.
But
It's not required, but it's there.
Yep.
You've successfully attuned. What magic item have you dropped? From which
when
one did you drop for?
let's see, when I equip it, I usually drop the Brooch of Shielding.
Okay. Yep. Perfect. All right. So, I don't. What's the cast time? on teleportation?
It's just a spell.
Okay.
Teleport spell.
Yeah, but some spells take like a minute or an hour.
Well, let's see.
One
action.
One action. Okay. Perfect. That's crazy.
Poof.
That is like just.
It's not like a
Level
5
spell.
minute or 1 minute or.
So after a moment, you think about Archdom. Where in Archdom are you thinking about specifically?
Right outside the forge place where we met.
Oh yes.
Where I met the forge guy. Because that would be the one that I most associate with Archdom.
Let me find.
Well,
the name.
maybe some famous buttresses.
The butt track.
in the Undercroft.
Teleport on top
Onto
of the
the
buttress.
buttress.
There's a tribunal, but it's called the Tributtress.
It's just got 3 cheeks.
That's representing the 3 sects of the. Which cheek are you a part of?
Sorry, I'm just trying to find. That's all about the tower. That's not telling me anything.
Feats, where it's going to be in features and traits.
Features and traits, then there's a feats button.
The Half Hall Forge is
Yeah.
what it's called.
Yep, that's the place where I'm going to go.
And Magnus Full is the name of the gentleman. In case you were curious.
Go to Magnus. He's in the toilet or
Yeah.
something. Like, oh gosh.
Magnus.
No, right outside the forge.
So technically you're supposed to roll D100, but because
It's 0. It's 1 to 100 gives me there.
exactly. Yep.
Actually, no. Sorry. Very familiar is a 25 to 100. And then there's other things.
Yeah, because a permanent teleportation circle is the 1 to 100.
75.
75. So, no issues with a little bit of a warping. I have a portal sound from Syrinscape. Yeah, you find yourselves out of the tower. Everybody blinks their eyes as you suddenly find yourselves in the crowded market of Archdom, basically the crowded streets. The half hall market is.
Does anyone scream as we appear?
Not really. A couple people step to the side and they give you dirty looks because you're teleporting outside of a designated teleportation circle zone. But screw them, right?
I am walking here.
Yeah.
Hey,
I am teleporting here.
your footnotes in the story of Victor. Please step aside.
But yeah, you do find yourselves back in Archdom. Aramis, Alomah, I don't think either of you. Aramis might have been a little bit. It depends on.
I might have kind of been on the outskirts, but never
Yeah, you've
visit.
probably seen the bridge from afar. You may have seen the bridge from afar as well, but
From
both of
afar,
you-
yes, but
yeah, both of you have never been.
Because it spans the whole width of the...
I've been here for work, but it was
Dracula's, right?
just inside the city.
the Gaius.
The Gaius.
Yep.
I was out of there.
And it's 50 miles across.
Yeah, this is the small point, so it's 50 miles across, and it's full of industry, right? As much as Southport is kind of like a normal medieval town, cliffside town, this is big stacks of smoke are being plumed into the air, multicolored at times and just black at others. There's plenty of other tinker shops and that sort of thing because Archdom was built by tinkerers.
This place.
Aramis, have you
kind of
been here
vibe.
before? This is my first time.
Just real brief, but yeah, I was here before.
This is the one with
Welcome to Archdom.
This is a bit overwhelming.
No, this is in the Undercroft.
No, but there is the.
There is an
Yes.
Undercroft. Yeah.
And that's under the bridge,
Under
it's set
the
up.
bottom side. Yeah.
It's
Like hangs from the bridge attached to it.
It's its own suspension bridge underneath.
A bridge under a bridge.
Where do we go to try and book passage to
If
Needstead?
I remember correctly, the airship docking area should be just a few miles that direction.
Right.
Perfect. So you guys head on through. Again, there's plenty of market stalls that are calling out hey.
Yep, I point out the
jewelry.
popular buttresses.
There is looming in the distance is a tower that houses the Sisterhood. I don't know if you remember that. I need to remember their names, but it's not
Sisterhood
really
of the
important unless you
Traveling
go
Pants.
there. So.
Of the teleporting pants?
Yeah,
The teleporting paths, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly their names, but yeah, we've encountered them before. And soon enough, you're at a large kind of latticework of airship docks that hang off the side of Archdom. You see there are a good half a dozen ships in the distance, kind of floating, waiting for their turn to dock. Just because it's not it's a busy airship port, so not all of them can be in the same place at once. There's a dockmaster kind of coordinating everything. If you'd like to, you can just start looking for ships, or you can walk up to him.
Now, seeing as how it's a fairly large town, is there, usually when you're in a port town, all that stuff is tracked, right?
Yeah.
Ships coming in, so they're where they're coming from, where they're going to.
Yep.
arrivals, departures.
Yeah, so basically like an airport, right?
Manifests.
So I want to go up to one of the workers, the Archdom workers.
Yeah, there's a dockmaster's office,
yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Go there, and so I'll go walk in there. Walk up
And
to
the
front
gnome
desk or the
perks up as you enter, and she goes, "Oh, hello. How can I help you today, sir?"
good afternoon or good morning. We are looking for passage to Meadstead.
Meadstead.
Yes.
Looking for
There's
any ship heading that way.
any airship, correct?
Of course. Because otherwise you'd be in the harbor area.
Correct.
And she starts flipping through her book. She goes, Meadstead. I'm not seeing any specific ships that... here they are. I do have two that are heading that way. Making a stop here for repairs. One is called the Bubble Crest, and the other is something called the Greatest Treasure. I'm not too sure which one is which.
Fantastic.
We'll take the bubble crest.
I literally push you aside.
She writes down both like dock locations, and she hands over the scraps of parchment to
Thank you very much. Is it customary to tip on?
Yes, typically, and she does like
Say like
the
a
tip
jar?
Yeah.
I'll put in a couple silver, 2 silver in it.
Victor wants to
Thank
see
you,
if
very
he can
generous.
see it as Bolt grabs it.
Uh-huh.
I rolled to see if I can, and I want to sneak off and what's the word? I want to get the jump on Cascas.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 4 plus my perception. I assume.
Yeah.
5, so 9.
9. You don't really get a good look at the actual dock number before Bolt has it in his hand.
I go, dock number, and I actually just say it out loud.
That works
I
too.
bam.
Okay.
I'm gone.
You had a dagger set up outside just for this situation. Okay.
As you're walking, you just throw it into the planks. Someone's
guy's
like,
like-
what the hell? I just polished these.
There's a plank polisher. That is definitely a job in Archdom.
He just uses like
There's a lot of soot.
There's just like a hand crank belt sander.
Yeah. But yeah, so Victor is going to arrive first. You arrive at Dock 38 or whatever it is.
Dock 38, exactly.
Yeah, sure. To find that the greatest treasure looms overhead. Still a hodgepodge of various woods and metals. A few key differences stand out to you, though. The first is that there is a set of circular net riggings holding domed tarps against the underside of the ship, with ropes stretching between the riggings. The second is that there are more kobolds running around than just Kes. Several of all colors are hauling freight off of a ship as you approach, and 2 halfling women in card mail armor, which is kind of like that samurai style armor, watch you with suspicious eyes as you approach, their hands reaching behind them to the katanas on their backs out of reflex.
I'll stay still, and I want to see if any of them react to my presence. It's seeing me.
The 2 are just like watching you, and then like when you don't move, they'll take their hands off the blades, but they'll just like cross their arms, and it's almost in unison. They look very similar. They could almost be twins.
And on approach, can I sleight of hand get what's it called, Shadow Song, on the side of the boat?
You can go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
That's an 18 plus 16, so 20, 30.
Yep. As you're walking, you kind of are like you're tossing, like you toss another dagger kind of up a few times, just playing with it as you do, and their eyes like move to that weapon because it's an active weapon, and you just kind of slip Shadow Song out, let it glide through.
Then I'll
to the ship.
kind of stop and I'll go.
Just disappear. And you hear them both like cry out in alarm as you appear on the deck of the Greatest Treasure. And yeah, so you're here.
Okay.
Where do you want to search for Kes? Because you don't see him
I
on
would
top.
probably.
You do see a couple panicking kobolds.
If I don't see where
Victor.
if I don't
shoving
see
them
him
in a bag.
if I don't see him on the
Sorry, reflex.
Seriously, if I don't see him on the deck, I'll go over to where his secret stash is and I'll rap on the door or on the top of it.
Okay. Basically on the the captain's quarters, like you'll slip in there and you'll tap on the top, and you do hear like as soon as you like start tapping on the stash, you hear a scrambling from below, and then like the bottom hatch or the hatch pops open, and the familiar albino kobold Kes with nicely curved horns now that he's completed his process comes rushing out, and he goes, "Who's touching the stash? Oh, Victor, welcome."
Yes.
Hi, good to see you. Yes.
Yes, I'm here. I've been contracted here to rob you. I'm sorry, I'll have to kill everyone on this boat. I hope you don't mind.
He pales a little bit, and at that point, the 2 halfling women come running up onto deck, having heard the communication, and they go, "Intruder!" and they're going to pull their katanas full out and start.
OJ, I was just joking. I am Victor of the 8 Rings.
And they do not put their blades down when you
Not
mention the
persuading us.
Yeah.
Just wait, the rest will be here. It was all big practical joke, you know. It's sometimes good to get your heart pumping, thinking you're about to die.
Kes just like glances over, hoping that one of the other members of the Wayward Watch appears pretty soon, because even he's not sure at this point.
So on the way over, I'm extolling the virtues of the Greatest Treasure, and Bolt loves it because it's very much like, oh yes, it's built out of multiple different ships. It's got all kinds of unique, neat features, and it's a great sight to behold.
And then you round the corner and you get your first sight of the greatest treasure.
It's a hunk of junk. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, exactly, a hunk of junk. And you
greatest treasure.
You do hear commotion coming from the top of the
Greatest
deck.
hunk of junk in the galaxy.
Where's Victor?
So one of the halfling women is going to rush you, and she's going to make an attack against you with her
Sounds good.
katana, because again she's heard no orders otherwise.
For the duration of the attacks, I'll just be using the dodge action
Okay, perfect.
to make it easy.
So it's disadvantage with dodge, right?
Yeah.
We'll start making our way up to it while this.
And I'll just kind of like arms behind my back, unless I get hit, and then I might be like a little bit more.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll the attack here. That is a 19 to hit.
That's with the disadvantage. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
We're gonna get there and Victor's just dead on the floor.
Missing a limb, huh?
So one of them charges you, and you kind of were expecting Keskas to maybe call them off.
Okay.
And she it's just 3 damage. She just delivers a glancing blow across like your arm.
I wanted to crit.
That would have been funny.
82 damage.
That would be hilarious. Victor will, again, he'll have his arms kind of behind his back. He'll dodge a little bit, and he'll kind of raise his eyebrow. You found good help, it seems.
You can relax. I don't think he's here to kill us. No.
Clump, clump, clump.
Yeah.
Cass, are you around?
Oh, thank the gods. Bolt. Yes. Kes here.
Aren't you two supposed to be watching the people as they approach? I mean, why are you here?
The halfling women just like narrow their eyes and Kes. These are friends, potential clients. They are welcome aboard. Yes.
These are potential friends. Clients.
Potential friends. Victor, Bolt, new faces. Hello. This is. Let's see. What are the names? Shaylin and Zenri Keenflow. They are 2 Shin novices who have agreed to act as bodyguards aboard Keskes's ship.
What was her name again? Shaylin and
Shaylin and Zenri.
Zenri.
Yep. Zenree. And then Keenflow is their last name. And then he starts like pointing out other kobolds and giving you names. You don't really know which ones he's pointing to, but he calls them Snud, Zogs, Jin, Russ, Sorrow. He says that there's 3 more below ship that he'll introduce you to later as well, if you're interested.
And Victor will be watching their faces to see if he gets any facial tells of anybody who's like had past trauma with him, and just so that way he can gauge, so he can be more tender with his conversations.
That's the
with
one
those
that
individuals.
stuffed us in the back.
You do like the 3 red scaled kobolds that are aboard the ship. At least you know that Snud, Zogs, and Jin are the 3 reds that he pointed out. You don't know which one's which at this point. And Jin is the like gin and tonic. Okay. That's how it's spelled, in case you're curious.
Got it.
They are giving you a wider berth than the other kobolds.
Okay.
Now, would Alomah and Aramis know about Keskes's old master,
Nope.
the dragon? Okay.
Nope. You guys have no clue about Zolzyrus.
Okay.
Don't share that on initiation. It's kind of rude.
That is very rude.
Right.
But you guys were there when I
don't hide much, but there are a few secrets that are not mine to tell.
You guys were there when I got the information from this guy about Book 3 being in what appeared to be a dragon horde.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, Bolt was very.
And I
much
definitely was like,
Okay. Now, are kobolds? If I'm not mistaken, kobolds aren't particularly common in an area. Is that right?
Not really. There's a few kind of scattered about. They probably have the same prevalence as like Dragonborn or as constructs like Bolt, Warforged.
So would I have ever met a kobold before?
Give me a history check at disadvantage. You and Aramis, because I don't know if Aramis would have either.
Quit.
You crit?
That's
That's an 11.
I killed. Yeah, well, and an 18 at disadvantage. Sorry.
You've killed many kobolds.
Alomah has not. Aramis,
one or two.
you actually have met one kobold.
All right.
A kobold with like coal black scales, actually.
I know
Guess
what
goes,
that is.
Hello, new friends, potentials.
Oh, yes. My manners. Sorry. This is Alomah and Aramis, new members to the Watch.
Welcome to
Well
the
met
Watch.
and fascinating. I've never met a kobold before.
Oh, well. And he kind of like preens his horns a little bit and he goes, Cas is best kobold. Yes, yes.
I have no doubt. You're descended from dragons, are you not?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Kobolds is created by dragons as servitors, typically.
I'm shaking the handrail.
Like you leaned against it and you're like...
Dragonborn is more closer to descendants. Half dragons as well. But kobolds is very proud to be related to dragon kind.
Now, wait a minute. Everyone is always saying that there are no... This is a question I've long held. Everyone always says that there are no dragons in Aneria, but if you were created by dragons to serve us, then where did you come from?
Well, there is no dragons in Aneria, but Aneria was not always Aneria. It used to be Aneria.
Right, so
Yes.
how old are you?
He has no tact, obviously.
Cascas is 22. Cascas's clutch was born far later. There are a few kobolds from Aneria. Go ahead and roll me an insight check in here as well, just
Sure.
because I know what you're digging for.
Yeah.
Well, if a race was created and they don't have to continually be created...
18.
18. Yeah, you definitely can tell that he's like skirting around some secrets.
Okay.
He's not a very good liar. But it's also not hard to believe that it's not that dragons always create kobolds, it's that dragons created the first kobolds and then they proliferated, as it were, on their own.
Yeah, I mean, he can tell that he's trying to hide something, but he also kind of realizes that he's being rude and doesn't want to pry. So he's like,
My apologies if I've offended you. We barely know each other. I should not be asking such intimate questions.
No worries at
Forgive
all. You was Kitsune, yes?
Indeed. Though most mistake me for Wolf. What was the name of the race?
Yeah, like just a wolfkin.
Wolfkin.
A lupin.
Wolfkin. When they see me, I appreciate the distinction.
You're not Wolfkin?
Like I was saying.
Is the jewelry on the tail that gives away.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yes. You know something of my
Once
kind.
he gets his second talent...
Cascas knows something of jewelry of all kinds. Cascas is a fan of jewelry of all kinds.
Speaking of jewelry,
Yes,
I have not
yes.
heard from you in quite a while.
I apologize.
I know that the last trip with the last people we brought on board was kind of traumatic to see the aftermath, but these guys have stuck around much longer now.
You speak of the last two Wayward Watch potentials that died horribly in that.
Anime
It's the guy climbing up a rope off as it's moving, and he hits into a mountain.
Yes.
Cue another montage of just like horribly dying.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Some
and
sky
it's like,
pirate knocks one into the mail propeller.
the last one that we brought into it, he died because of the ship being rickety. Like he tied the rope to the wrong rung, and the rung just breaks off.
When-
he falls like to his death.
when they create the
over the blades.
when they
Yeah.
create the anime of season 2 of Aneria, like that's got to be in there.
Mhm.
Just like,
It's like-
every episode, there's like
Yeah.
a 30-second montage of like several
Yes.
like recruits dying
Yes.
horrible deaths.
It's the Benjamin Button, the guy with the lightning bolt. And he's like, I was struck by lightning 7 times.
Cascas did tell them not to attach it to that particular railing on that day.
We do
That
not
is not
blame you.
Cascas's
That is
fault.
what the affidavit is for. It
So
tells them
more
that
up
it's
to
not
code,
our problem.
As I feared.
Are
It'll
you
get us.
Inspector?
No, I'm just scared.
Most people are when first aboard. It's okay. It's good ship. Better ship now. Bolt help.
I did help.
I hate to have seen it before, but
Well, if
Casca's had pictures. And he pulls up like early schematics, and it looks even worse.
it was just
It's a crude oil painting.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a flat slat and then
It's
a heart
just like
in
a
the middle.
triangle and a sail. Like it's a 4.
It's
But
Casca's
the
original
heart is
design.
scratched out.
Yeah,
so
the
you
heart's
can't see
scratched
it.
out so you can kind of see it, and you're like, "What's that?" And he's like, "No, no, no."
Rolls it up really quick. Rolls up the napkin that he put it on.
yeah.
Now, how can Cascas assist?
We were told by the dockmaster that you are headed out towards Meadstead.
Well, that is true. Yes,
Are you
yes.
headed directly to Meadstead or just nearby?
Directly to Meadstead. We would have veered off earlier. However, had to stop in Archdom for repairs, supplies, drop-offs. That sort of
Very
thing.
fortuitous for us.
Yes, serendipitous.
I would say perhaps there's been some divine intervention.
I should hope not. Cascas does not like being pawn of gods.
Well,
I can agree to that.
nothing happens by accident, my friend.
As a pawn of a god, I feel quite offended.
Cascas does apologize to...
You never heard of him. Don't worry about it, alright?
Oh, good. Does that make it worse or better?
Worse.
Worse.
Trust me, it's worse.
Cascas will fear for his life.
Probably.
Is there some form of apologetic offering Cascas can provide?
No.
1 silver daily.
Safe trip.
A safe trip. A god of travel. Floral nagging.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
If the travel's not
like,
free,
Cascas-
then you die.
There's a few gods that even Cascas like make sure that he pays tribute to. A god of the seas, of the rivers, a god of travel, that sort of thing, because you really don't want to piss off those gods when you're a merchant traveling from place to place.
Well, we are headed towards Meadstead. If we could book passage on your ship,
Of
that
course.
would be fantastic.
Cascas would be happy to have you set up hammocks again. Well, more hammocks, and he waves at the 2 hammocks that are already on the deck.
I call top bunk.
You wish me to make double high hammocks?
Yes.
Excellent.
We'll lash up like a mast. You're just like swinging it from.
And he snaps his fingers and shouts some things in Draconic, which Alomah actually speaks Draconic. So you hear him just shouting orders to set up the hammocks, and the kobolds get to work, quickly erecting a couple extra hammocks for you. And he goes, passage is 12 gold each.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then would you like to buy premium service? Cascas is told that premium service is very nice.
What does that entail?
Better food,
Oh, no, thank you.
of course.
Alomah will actually, at that point, say to Cascas in Draconic, he'll just kind of say,
I'd love to chat sometime to learn more about your people.
He looks impressed and he goes, of course. Not many know Draconic. It is delightful that you are aware of my other language.
and
He absolutely sounds a lot more elegant.
Right, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he's got a British
like
accent.
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. I'm so glad that we've spoken.
He says, in a perhaps former life, you could say, I was something of a scholar.
Does Alomah sound less?
Yeah, it's more like, in former life, I was something of study person.
Actually,
Yes.
if it were a normal language, I'd
Alomah,
probably
Alomah.
say so, but you got this one from your boon. So this might be a bit more like implanted knowledge.
Yeah. So it just comes out.
You do say yes, though, at random times in Draconic.
Yeah. So anyway, he'll kind of share the story about how he gained the language and that, and just share a little bit about that he's on a journey looking for the goddess of the moon that has recently appeared in the sky and things, and just.
And he listens enraptured, and then
Do you understand them?
Not at
Victor, how about yourself?
all. I didn't even know Wolfie could do that.
he'll actually, Cassis will turn to Bolton and he goes, new friend is very nice. Yes. Very, very interesting.
He seems nice enough. It's
And then he just like narrows his eyes at Aramis a little bit, and,
Usually,
like waiting for the trick.
The jig is up.
generally speaking, we try to have nice people on the
Much better than last few, that's for sure.
team. Well, we didn't really get to know him that well.
Yes.
Last few were a little short on time, and
Now, are you looking to leave immediately, as soon as possible? We will be packing up and leaving in a couple hours, if that's okay.
That would be fantastic. The earlier the better. If we can help get us underway quicker, that would
course.
be good as well.
There is one matter that needs attending to. Must have a medical exam before coming aboard. Not you, Bolt.
You need a medical exam?
Passengers.
Oh.
Just a quick check over by our medic.
Well, it's a good thing I bring my own rubber gloves.
Ooh, rubber! What is rubber? Like, he starts stretching them out. Puts one on his
No,
head.
it's like natural rubber. They're very stiff. And you can like barely move. They're more like oven mitts.
Like somebody took a car tire and turned it into a
yeah, kind of.
Is formality just to make sure no diseases, no poisons, that sort of thing. Otherwise, mask is required. Is okay. Simple, easy.
I can't catch diseases, but I have been poisoned once or twice.
Of course, yes. Nasty business with butterflies.
We don't want.
Have you heard of the butterfly incident?
No, but
He says intercutting
again. But I have noticed
Victor's,
like
him
in
get
the
very
background.
jumpy
whenever
there
are
Hold on.
butterflies around.
It's true. He
I have a feeling you two are talking about this.
specifically because the common word for butterfly and the draconic word for butterfly are the same thing.
Fly butter.
Fly butter. He'll have to tell you the story sometime. It actually is very fantastic. I'm trying to do the Sean Connery accent a little bit, but yeah. But first, medic, Ishi. And again, there's kind of some steps from downstairs. The bottom hatch opens up, and another kobold comes out with golden scales, wearing sort of a white robe with the symbol of Bahamut on it, which is a symbol that most people would know. It's not that common in an area, just because not very many people worship a dragon god. But they come up, and he goes, "Everyone, this is Ishi. Ishi, this is Bolt, Aramis, Alomah, and Victor, the Wayward Watch." And she goes, "It's delightful to meet all of you." In common, this isn't draconic. As Cascas said, I am Ishi. I'm the medic aboard the ship, and I'll just be giving you a once over just to make sure that you're not bringing anything aboard.
I resisted making an itchy joke.
I have the impulse to call you
We
Eric.
appreciate that. That I didn't realize until I said it here, but yes, it does sound like Ishi.
That's what I thought at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just subject myself to whatever.
And she'll walk over.
You start stripping off. Like middle of the
That
back.
won't be
Just I'll just drop my
Do you-
dexterity
do you, like-
immediately.
Like full veterinary, like hands, whatever.
She's actually just going to put one hand on her holy symbol and then hold out her hand and kind of wait just a moment, and you can see a soft, like, golden glow go around her hand, and she says, "You're clean?" And then she'll go,
Victor,
"Each of you-"
who is starting to take off, he just kind of puts it back on.
Yeah. Yep. All of you are like naked.
We're just watching him.
Yep.
Like, is this how I've never had this done before?
But she'll go through each of you. Nobody has any diseases or poisons, so you all come up clean.
I am cursed, but it has nothing to do with the ship.
We do
It's
have
this, and I pull out the mace.
And she kind of backs away and she goes, "We do have services to remove curses, you know, if you are interested.
I am interested.
It's 200 gold for a curse removal service."
I'll think about it.
Of course.
I'm going back in the bag.
But all of you are fine. The detection spell didn't find anything too nasty on you. I would recommend keeping that scepter away from anybody else, obviously. We don't want any other curses spreading around here.
It does like to steal your magic.
Well, I am the only... Well, besides Cascas, I am the only
Cursed
magical
items
one
are
here.
like STDs. You don't spread them around.
It's true.
Not cool.
Wait,
Yeah, keep it in your bag.
Cascas is
Hold it.
magic.
Yes, he's very magical. But Cascas kind of like, you see his scales like get a little pinkish, and he goes, Cascas is I must have missed that one. I'll have to watch it on the playback.
It was PG-13.
Yeah.
It was pushing. Anyway.
The new YouTube rules are if you swear in the first
They're
8
strict.
seconds,
Yeah.
you get restricted.
Yeah, so we're good the rest of it, as long as it's not excessive.
As long as it's not excessive, whatever that means to them.
Subjective. Got it.
Cascas tinkers, but tinkering requires a little bit of magical ability.
Oh. Kind of like myself.
Exactly. Cascas was inspired by Bolt.
That makes sense. You'll have to show me some of the stuff you've made and what you can do.
And he actually calls down and he goes, Zenri! And one of the halflings comes up and he goes, show him the thing. And she kind of cocks an eyebrow a little bit. Oh, right. And she'll pull out her katana and kind of tilt it downward, and you can see like there's this little vial on the side, and she cracks the top of it, and it coats it with like an orange oil, and she kind of flicks, and it ignites it as like a flaming sword. And she kind of waves it around a little bit, and then...
I'll say in halfling so I can feel smart.
Yes.
Like, that's a very impressive sword.
Thank you very much. I take pride in making sure it is well cared for. Your swords are also very impressive.
What does Aramis? What does Aramis sound like in halfling?
Wait, I'm not sure what the halfling
I sound
is.
just like me right now.
Yeah?
That's exactly it.
Oh yeah, no accent or
No
anything.
accents,
Yeah.
nothing, just plain.
Perfect. Yeah. Literally just drop the accent.
Domo
Yeah.
arigato. Mr. Hello.
Nani.
Nani.
Ara.
Senpai.
And she'll take the little vial off and kind of hand it to Cascas, and he'll hand her another one, and she'll kind of clip it into place and then
Very impressive.
resheath it. Yes, is useful for intimidation.
I assume it also does some extra damage as well.
Yes, obviously, if it does burn people if it touches them. Yes.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to see someone else take up the path of artifice.
Thank you. I'm doing my best. And she says he's too kind to himself. Really, he does amazing work. I mean, you as Bolt, we've heard stories about you on the ship. You've seen his work downstairs, and it's very much improved even after you've left.
Well, that's great to hear. That means the ship will be even more reliable.
Yes.
Do they have to roll on like a mishap table whenever they use that fire thing to see if it like blows up in their hand?
That is for the DM to know and you to find out.
Just slashing down, like hits something and then it cracks. And
Yeah.
It's like napalm.
backfire, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Committing war crimes one fight at a time.
But if you would like to wait around for 2 hours, we'll make sure everything is good to go and head on out.
Oh, you guys... I said no to the extra service, mainly because I don't really eat, but if you would like better food, you said?
What's the difference between hardtack and hardtack light?
A hardtack with bacon flavor.
Bachelor chow, now with flavor.
I'll make do.
Okay. So I'm ready. Perfect. So a couple hours pass. You guys kind of stand around. You can sit in the hammocks if you want. There is a double hammock that Victor can take the top one of.
I'll take the top one.
It's very hard to get into.
And he'll be like kind of swinging back and forth, but the whole time he's going to be looking at the red kobolds. Just not intimidating, just looking and just thinking.
And they definitely like spare glances your direction before hurriedly getting back to work. So there is, you kind of do learn that Snuds and Zogs are the two red male kobolds, and then Jin is the female, and they're all siblings. And there is also Russ, which is a green male, and Sorrow, which is a blue female. And then every now and then you see the two mechanics come up, and they're wearing similar outfits to Cascas, just not as like fancy.
So this is what you were prepping all day.
Part of it, yes. And they are Naltu and Aklo, and they are also red males, but they are not as wary of Victor. And then, if you do want to, you can talk to Shaylin and Zenri. One of them will do the speaking while the other one continues guard duty. But they are both Daojaz, in the Tushan discipline, which means that they are katana wielders, longsword wielders, that sort of thing. They favor long blades, and then a jaw is just a novice. So they're beginners as far as it goes, but they are completely in the discipline, and they're just doing this to earn a little bit of extra coin between their training, and it's always good to get like extra training while they're out and about, protecting an airship, that sort of thing.
I'd want to try and find time to chat with Keskus if he's not too busy. If he's too busy, then I'll wait for a better time.
Keskus has delegated duties so nicely now. Like he's fully embraced the whole captain thing, so he's got very little to do in these last few hours of preparation, other than yell at people.
We can hand wave, but I'm going to talk to the halflings about their workout routine.
Okay.
I just want to get some tips.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They will offer, like after about 10 minutes of talking about it, they'll offer to have you join them on their early morning routine if you're willing to be awake at that time.
Kata.
Yep.
Victor, when they do that, Victor will join in, but he'll be like distanced himself a little bit, but he just wants to follow along just to see what the reaction is because he'd done it so long with Ezra. I wanted to, just to confuse him, and he won't say anything about it. He'll just go through the motions, the kata, and then at the end he'll just be.
You put the blindfold on and do the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alomah, if given enough time, he'd probably first off want to ask him if he'd ever, been to Arconus.
Oh, Keskus. Oh, is this? Are you speaking in Draconic or Common? Which are you defaulting to here? Yeah. Keskus would love to go to Arconus. Actually, it's. I hear it's a wonderful place, but unfortunately, the airship isn't nearly as equipped as I'd like to be.
What would one have to do to prepare a more mundane airship to travel the astral sea?
I've been looking into it when we've had some spare time at Archdom, and there's a lot of specific enchantment runes that are required to repel the astral sea. You'd need an astral navigator, that sort of thing. Something they call it like a star jammer or a spell jammer or something like that.
I wonder if there's some components we might have been able to salvage off that illithid ship that we found at the bottom of the ocean, at the bottom of the river.
An illithid ship, you're saying?
Yes. A couple of days ago, we were. Well, it's a bit of a long story. We were looking for a woman who had a book of mine that says one of three, and she had been captured by some Etaquathan. She was down in Deep Well.
Yeah.
Well, nearby.
Slipped into Aquan.
Okay, that's what they call it. Yeah.
that was the Etaquathan name for Deep Well.
Even though it's actually Etaquathan often, but yes.
But it's like
yeah. Perfect.
Somebody my new text tone. Thank you very much.
Anyway, and
she was being held captive by an illithid.
I've never heard of those.
Nor had we until that particular encounter, but they seemed to have traveled the astral sea themselves and had captives from other worlds.
Yeah, if we had something like that, we might be able to adapt it, some sort of engine or something.
Perhaps we might be able to show you the ship sometime and see if there's anything worth salvaging.
Of course, it would be quite a journey back down to Southport, but we'd be making our way there eventually.
And he would probably open up, depending on how long the conversation went on.
30 minutes or so before he has to jump off.
He would probably, share a little bit since he was talking about, they were looking for this woman, book 2 of 3, and it so happens that the reason that I was prying earlier about, dragons was because this book is part of a series, and supposedly we were told that book 3 was being held in what appeared to be a dragon horde, and it's very important for me to find this book because I think it might help me find my mistress, Aneria.
Of course. Well, I know that certain dragons do have hordes that include tomes. The one that I know of I've messed up.
Have I offended you, sir?
No, sorry. I'm still struggling to open up to people about my past a little bit. I used to actually be a servant to a dragon in Aneria.
You're kidding. I knew it.
We hear the
There are
sound.
dragons.
We hear the sound of a coffee cup dropping.
This is all in Draconic, so nobody else. Well,
Right, but we heard the coffee cup. The coffee cup's not draconic.
You
I dropped the
Yeah.
coffee cup. Yes.
yeah.
There
Did
aren't.
you catch that? I said yes. Yeah.
Yes. It's catchy.
Yeah,
it catches on.
It is.
There are no longer any dragons in Aneria. My master's gone, long gone.
But
The horde would be remaining, but I can guarantee you that there is no books. He was a dragon, born and partially made of lava.
of lava.
Yeah, molten. It's an uncommon dragon type, but it was one that was in an area. Follow me, and he'll actually take you down, and he'll show off the heart, because since the world opened up, dragon hearts aren't really they were still rare, but it's not like something that people can't
Doesn't
find.
exist, yeah.
And you are technically a member of the Wayward Watch, and Kes is trying to be a little bit more open about sharing his secrets with potential allies.
Hey,
he
our
says-
therapy sessions with them are working.
Exactly. As you can see, he left me his heart as sort of a final goodbye, and I've been using it to power the ship.
Wow. That was very generous of him.
It was. I owe him everything, actually. I owe him my life. I owe him this thing. This is my greatest treasure.
Well, I'd certainly love to hear stories about him someday.
Of
if you
course.
have time, perhaps on the journey.
Yeah. But I can guarantee you that his hoard does not have any tomes inside of it. They would have been burned long ago.
I believe you. Well, in that case, I don't suppose you've ever heard of any of the dragons here in Aneria.
As far as Zolzyrus told me, he was the last dragon in an area. Which is how I got this accent, is he said he was the last.
I am the last. There can be only one. Nor
watch that movie again.
nor
Dragonheart?
old hordes,
Thematically
I suppose,
appropriate.
that you would know of.
Not that I would know of, but I suppose it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility.
Seemed like a long shot, but well, if you hear anything, I would appreciate it.
Of course, I would recommend speaking with the blue dragons, or I think the silver's the counterpart there. I can't remember which one is
White and, well...
white and silver. Okay, yeah, silver is cold damage, so that's the white equivalent.
Right.
Brass or bronze or copper. One of them does lightning damage, basically, but they share similar traits, and I know both are collectors of information and knowledge. So.
No. Crystal dragons?
I don't know. Crystal dragons are usually like psychic damage.
Gem dragon? No, I'm just asking if there's
Gem.
if they're canon in this world.
Yeah, there are gem dragons.
Okay.
They're not nearly as common. Like even Arconus maybe has like one or two, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll thank him and then probably on the journey at some point maybe try to approach one or befriend one and ask him if they know anything.
Oh, sorry, I meant the dragons themselves.
Oh, like in Arconus.
Yeah, in Arconus. Yeah.
Not any of the
Cascas
kobolds.
basically is like what I've learned about dragons from my master is that blues and their metallic
Metallic
equivalents, both like collected knowledge as far as that goes.
Okay.
So they would be the most likely candidates to have a hoard of books in addition to a regular hoard.
Well, thank you. That's very helpful. Now I can just find my way to Archdom.
Well,
Problem for another time, I
Plane
suppose.
shift.
yes.
Done.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get the rest of the
Of course.
ship moving.
Thank you for opening up to me. I appreciate it.
Of course. If the other friend Aramis wishes to speak with me, I would be happy to open up with him as well. I'm not trying to keep secrets anymore. That's not a way that I enjoy living after all these years.
Understood.
Do you guys come back up to the deck at this point?
Yeah.
Yep.
So if I see you come up, I kind of look at Keskus. Did you show him?
Yes. Cascas shows him very special engine.
That
If Aramis is here, he looks over and he says, "If you'd like to see as well."
Sure.
that's where I got this. And I hold up my partially melted, framed.
And
arm.
yeah, he'll take as you're talking to him, he'll take Aramis down.
To code. I'm telling you. Whatever. I'll go down.
Still works okay.
Yep. Yeah, and he'll show you basically the molten dragon heart, and be like, "This is from Keskes Master." It's the same spiel but very inelegant. As it were.
I'm just like staring at it in amazement. I always knew.
Would you like to touch it?
No, it looks a little bit squishy. So.
Good answer. It's not good touch. Both can tell.
I always knew they were real. I did.
I wish to see another someday.
Well, maybe you can. I heard there's a place.
Eventually we gotta get there, so
Come along for the ride.
I kind of hear the tail end of this because I wanted to come down and look at this.
Yeah.
See if it's in- well, perhaps we can keep an eye out for some upgrades for the ship, and maybe it can take us there.
There are some dragons that I'd like to meet myself.
Remember, there was a blue dragon that was trying
There
to break
was
through the
a
sky?
blue dragon that was
It was trying to get through the barrier, but and then made off with
and Hasmonday? Or
for part of Hasmonday when
Yeah.
she was the bow skybreaker. I can't remember what the bow was.
yeah.
Yes,
Eye
it
on
would
the
be-
Stormbreaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, it would be interesting to at least see. I imagine there's probably things there.
Well, Cascas knows that Miss Toggs is working on ways to leave an area better. Cascas is not anywhere near the skills to accomplish such feats.
Question. Bolt, you seem to know about the ship we were in below. You said this was in the Astral Seas. There's something about it that maybe you could go dredge up from the...
Alomah was saying
Deep.
something about that.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Perhaps there is something there. There was something holding back the water.
So perhaps it has some kind of disruption
Yeah.
field of sorts.
Yeah, something to prevent stuff from outside getting in.
But we can only tell you where it's at if we get free passage for life. Sign here.
If Wayward Watch could bring Cascas means to travel the Astral Sea, Cascas would, of course, provide free passage
Victor
for
starts
Wayward
signing
Watch. If you could provide...
don't sign it. His
but
contracts
if-
have landed us in
if-
the night core.
Then we
Don't
don't
sign
we don't
it.
talk about Bruno.
You mean
He
Baba Yaga?
That was the dragon turtle we killed.
He
We don't
puts a
talk
big
about Bruno.
he puts a big if and then circles it before the premise and then goes
Cascas will sign contract if there is viability to it.
viability circles it. He does, and it's not like
This-
in any
this
Spartan.
is
He just
why-
writes the word on the page.
This is why Leah does most of these now.
It's bronze
It is bronze. Okay.
that shoot lightning. Sorry,
Yeah. Thank you.
it was bugging me.
Well,
We
when
would
you're
be-
ready.
I personally
Rolls it
would be
up.
glad to help you if you could bring the ship, the greatest treasure, to our tower. You could actually dock it there.
Directly at the tower now.
Yes,
Ooh. Yeah.
because it does have that platform where the ornithopter was. Remember?
Yep. Well, the ornithopter was inside.
Right,
it
but there
just
was
had-
there was like a.
There wasn't. It was just an opening.
Oh well,
Victor.
I have since wanted to build a
Yeah.
basically a dock area.
Then Victor writes dock, 5 gold fee, and circles dock, and then starts to look like he's gonna scratch out the thing. He's like,
Victor, Cascas loves you, but Cascas is not signing any of your contracts.
All right. Well, I will come back with one that's from the law mage.
Right now is a lot of maybes. Yes. Yes. Not a lot of
No,
guarantees.
You heard that he said yes.
Twice.
So that means it's definitely.
For sure gonna happen.
Anyway, yes, we can help you try to find something, perhaps off that ship or even elsewhere. But we got to focus on what we're doing.
Of course, the journey to Meadstead.
Yes. How long will you be staying there?
Keskus would typically stay just until we get cargo, however long that take, if there's any cargo to take. Typically, most stuff coming out of Meadstead is mead, which is handled by golems. Perhaps they pay extra fee to ship full golems elsewhere?
Okay.
Not sure. Never been to Meadstead before. But lucrative to take golems back. And he waves a hand at the cargo area, which has 5 different Meadstead golems that are just hunched over and deactivated in the hold.
Seems to become a pretty hopping business.
He just charges the lime scooters and then puts them back out.
Yeah.
Does a little repair.
Yeah.
Would there be a time on your way back or towards Salsport you could swing by? I have a feeling the changes to the ship might take a while.
If Bolt can guarantee that changes are available, Keskus can make his way there.
Okay.
But business requires constant movement. Need guarantees of upgrades before being able to. Because not actively searching, just hopeful.
That makes sense. Yeah, we'll put that on our to-do list.
Excellent. And if Astral Sea upgrades available, Keskus promise, even through contract, to provide Wayward Watch passage if they require.
That would be great.
Promised. Date, time, verbal agreement. Those in the party, writing down names.
Leah, who has the other half of this notebook, goes, verbal promises don't count for anything.
Darn.
Well, if we can get there, I think you'll find the Astral Sea quite an interesting place.
Keskus has seen inklings. Is interesting.
Actual inklings, they're
Yes.
creatures that they're like ink block creatures, but they can
They
make
look
pictures out on.
They look like octopuses, but completely made out of ink. Yeah. And they definitely do not. They're not Splatoon inklings. Those are different.
No, they can form themselves into pictures.
Yep.
Right.
Not Brandon
well,
Sanderson Inkspread.
I've actually been there quite
Inkspread?
extensively in the past and pretty recently, actually.
Yes, Bolt is from Astral Sea.
So,
The Cryptus.
Not originally, but
Cryptics.
from there.
Cryptics.
Yes.
Yeah.
wasn't there Inkspread? That was.
I think so.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's nice.
No Brandon Sanderson talk at the table. Give me an
We're going
avatar. Okay. With that, he will go ahead and snap his fingers, shout out a couple more quick orders, and you pull away from the dock and start heading out on the greatest treasure once again for a 5-day journey.
And beginning for some characters. Right?
Yes. And despite the look of the ship and the occasional rattle, it is a much smoother ride. The first morning, Aramis goes through a very grueling morning routine with the 2 halfling Tushin warriors. Victor follows along, but you notice that you've seen Ezra, who is higher up in the Tushin and has far more experience and discipline, and these 2 are very much novices. Their stances are just a little bit off. You almost want to correct them, but you're not quite sure how that would go.
Maybe that'll be day 2.
Yeah. But
Slap their boot. Get that.
Keskus tells you any story that he can about Zolzyrus. He does like sharing tales of his master to somebody who does know everything. He also mentions that a couple members of the Wayward Watch helped him go secure Zolzyrus' hoard. Apparently, one of his clutchmates, who he thought was deceased, had been getting into the hoard, or sneaking in and taking treasure from
Is
it.
this the one with the black scales?
That is the one with the black scales, yes.
And I killed him.
What? He's dead?
Well, I did kill Black Kobold on behalf of my god for some unjust reason. That kind of sounds like a good one.
Do you remember his name?
Do I remember it?
Because usually you get a name and a place.
Yeah. You'll
Let's see.
go ahead and roll me a history check, see if you remember.
18.
His name was Sek.
Zek?
Yep.
So I'll tell him that.
That was the same one that Mungo was saying was asking around for other kobolds.
Mm-hmm.
And then Guess was like, oh, I bet I gotta go.
Yeah, that. Right. and you are sure he is dead?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. He was Keskes's least favorite brother, and obviously actively hurting Keskes's master's tomb.
Well, you can thank Zolos for that.
I will.
And you guys said I was cold-hearted. Jeez.
How many people have you assassinated lately?
Yeah, you've kind of lost your touch, man.
Oh, and the Victor goes into sloping depression for the rest of the trip.
He goes over and finds a real rain cloud.
Yeah. So the travel is pretty nice. You spend evenings looking out at. You're pretty close to the edge of an area at this point because that's where Archdom is. So you get a nice view of all of the different other landscapes. At night, when the sun goes beneath an area, basically beneath the flattened land of an area, and Lunera is out, kind of shining bright. You can also see like the asteroid field that kind of surrounds the mainland mass. A lot of different little like flows from the astral sea, some inklings, some space whales, that sort of thing.
One night, on a night where, like, if there's a night especially that's maybe cloudless and like the broken moon is really bright, I'll maybe share what I know about Lunera with Keskes, kind of in Draconic even.
Sure. And a couple of the other kobolds will listen in as well, and
I'll sing the song that I've got like on my star chart.
Oh yeah.
All the stars.
Perfect.
Like in the middle of it, I'll walk up and be like, "You really think that that's a person? It's clearly a rock. Doesn't make a lot of sense."
I've always thought it looked like cheese.
As someone who closely associates with the god Aramis, you should know
Cheese. It all crumbles.
there is a big that gods, deities can manifest themselves in the material plane in a variety of ways.
As celestial bodies. That's their celestial body.
That's true. We have seen them appear as animals before.
Just a bit unique for me. It's always just been sparks.
I've heard
paper.
For that
Fire.
star over there was a story about a dragon that was last of its kind that died and became a constellation in the sky.
What does your god?
like all the kobolds are like looking at you wide-eyed, like they're interested.
What
It
does
was
your
just a
god
fairy
feel
tale.
about the sun?
I don't know. I never asked him about it.
It's basically fire.
I don't know. We don't really talk like that. It's more, here you go. Go do that. And I do it. And that's kind of it.
I've kind of wondered. Sorry if this is insensitive. What do you get out of the relationship? It sounds like there's a lot of commands from him, and you just do them.
Well, there was a promise of vengeance against those that killed my love.
The blood flame serpents.
They're trained.
A lot of them are dead, but there's still plenty more out there.
So that promise is being fulfilled, at least partially.
Yeah,
That's
I'd
good.
say so.
We wouldn't want to have to go kill a god.
I don't know if we could.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we had.
And then I'll just leave it at that. Like,
One tried to join the Wayward Watch.
The god of mishaps.
Yes. God of bad luck.
well,
God
we
of-
technically
It was Jeff, the god of biscuits.
Bezos.
That was
was,
an Eddie Izzard joke.
Yeah. It was Darwin.
Darwin.
Because we technically didn't kill
The Eternal Gale.
the Eternal Gale, but we were present when he died. So basically,
Victor has been telling everybody that he's a
Let's
god
just
killer.
say we didn't save him.
The Batman rule. The Batman rules.
Actually, that means that you didn't kill him in Batman's case. So. Yeah. But yeah, so I would say it's probably about getting close to sunset on the third day. And you're all kind of standing around on deck, just idly chatting, experiencing another story about Zolzaris, when you see a little and a portal kind of sparks open, and a half-elfin woman with like light green skin and a shock of purple hair comes stumbling out, and she looks over at you and she goes, "You,
Yes.
how many Ezras are on this plane?"
2.
"Great. I'm sorry about this." And she kind of leaps backward, and another portal opens up, and she goes through. And the first portal that she went through, 3 kind of figures come like flowing out, and they look like they're elementals of some kind, but they're kind of giving like jerky motions. One of them like gives sort of like a time echo as it looks over to you, and then they're going to charge you. And we're going to go ahead and get into combat here. The randomness of encounters tonight. We'll be right back with... Actually, we don't really have to worry too much about a board setup because we know where we are. All right. Let's go ahead and reveal our battle map, which should be familiar to everyone at this point.
Is the crane out right now?
No, it would be in, actually. The crane would be in. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant out, like hanging out. No. It's up. Yeah. Because it's always fun to put there. Because you never know when somebody might swing on that crane.
That's true.
It's a great thing to swing
Or try
on.
to use the rock. to hit
As you can see, there's your group plus the 2 Tushen halflings.
the Tushen.
Represented by dwarves here because I don't have halfling samurais ready, unfortunately. And let's have everybody go ahead and roll initiative, and we'll
Put
get
that on
into
the
combat.
list. Stuff to make.
Yep.
Oh.
Bolt.
Let me roll.
Let me roll. Is that the new Mario?
Let me roll.
Knock on.
Hey, it's Chris Pratt. Let me roll.
It's a me, Mario.
19. 19. Victor.
10.
10. Aramis.
15.
15. And Alomah.
18 as well. I have a 14 dexterity. What's your dexterity?
20.
12.
Oh, did we all tie?
No.
No.
19.
Oh, I thought you said
19.
15. Sorry.
Yep.
You go first.
I misheard you.
Yeah, it is actually Alomah first.
Okay. Yeah. He's gonna go ahead and cast Spirit Guardians at the 5th level, and I'm gonna use my fantastic Arcanist gloves that I remember that are a thing. So let's see if I get it for free. I do not. I rolled a 4.
Are they like strapped to your back? You just like.
No, he has them on
or
all the
you
time.
put them on all the time? Okay.
I mean, if
you
I'm
have them on all
when
the time.
I'm like traveling anyway.
Yep.
Maybe not. I don't sleep with them, but okay. So sorry, spells level.
Cast a spell.
Yeah, so I'll cast that, and then for a bonus action, I'm going to go into starry form and make an attack.
Okay.
Now let's see. How far away would you say I am from all 3 of these guys?
Yeah, you got a little
Measuring
Looks like
devices.
10 feet to me.
But
I need
smaller ones.
I need 15 if you got it or something like it.
no, yes. All right. I believe this is 15. Yep. That's 15 feet right there on the long end.
Okay. So it looks like I'm 15 from this guy. This guy might be 20. I would say 15 from him, 20 from him. That guy's whatever, 25 or 30.
Yep.
So I'm gonna attack the one on the left. And
Oh, Scott, I need to mark them 1, 2, 3, please. Or
Okay.
need you to, rather. I need to mark them, but rather you do.
it's
So the one on the left will be number 1.
number 1. That's a 27 to hit,
27 will hit.
and it does. Let's see. Let me remember here. It's this plus. What's my wisdom modifier?
That was what the clap was.
So 12 damage,
12 damage, okay.
and then I will
Pull him.
move him 5 feet closer to me. Sorry. Oh, that's you. Sorry. So that he's within range of my spirit guardians.
Okay. And that's a wisdom saving throw, right?
It is of 19.
Hand's about to reach out for me, and then one of your ancestors
Smacks it, yeah. Basically shatters it and it has to reform. And again, these things look like they are kind of like shifting almost in and out of existence through time, that sort of thing. So they look, in fact, here I have a...
Time bandits.
They look kind of like, looking like this. They're sort of an aura with kind of black lines around it and everything.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I don't know if they made their save, but it's 19 damage.
19 damage. Yep, they did not make their save. Perfect.
And that's it. Yeah, that'll be my turn.
All right, Bolt, it is your turn.
Okay. Bonus action, grow big.
Okay.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
The ship shifts.
And then I'm going to move right here.
The engine
So
shifts down a gear.
Are you moving within 5 feet of one of them?
Yeah, I'm moving right next to him so that I can get between Alomah and them, and I have Aramis.
Were you within 5 feet of one of them before?
No, I was like right here.
Okay.
So
So the number one is actually going to use its reaction and teleport. It disappears, flickers out of existence.
Okay.
And it's going to appear right next to Victor.
right here.
Yep. And then number two is going to flicker out of existence using its reaction and appear right between the halflings.
They can do what I can do.
Am I still close enough, I guess?
If you are still within 5 feet, yeah. Otherwise, you can still continue to move.
I can still continue to move.
Yep.
I'm just like, oh, geez. And move here. So I'm right next to him.
Question.
Yes.
With spirit guardians, if they flickered from one space to another space, it's only once per turn, right? Or
They appear
per
in
turn.
that.
Once on a turn when they move into the area.
Would
of
that be
effect.
considered be moving?
I wouldn't consider teleport, like if they're already in the area and they teleport to another space in the
That's
area,
already
then
Then
it
it
would
still
would
in
be counted.
there.
Okay,
technically
got
still
it.
in the area.
Okay. Not a
And
trick.
then I'm going to attack number one first.
Okay.
Just with my gauntlet.
Gauntlet strike.
Yep. That's a 26 to hit.
26 will hit.
Almost max damage.
Almost. 21.
21 damage.
21 damage.
Okay. And then disadvantage.
Yes. If it matters, 16 of it was thunder, and then 5 of it was whatever. I don't know what the.
It's just bludgeoning
Is
damage.
it just bludgeoning, or is it just extra damage on top of?
Oh, from Giant's Might?
Yeah.
That just adds an extra d6 of like the damage type that it is. So I think it's all thunder in this case.
Let me just double check.
Yeah.
So,
It doesn't matter for this particular instance. So is there anything else that you'd like to do before you start looking that up?
second attack on number 2.
Number 2? Okay.
And that is a 19.
19 will hit.
Okay. For 9 damage, 9 thunder damage. And then
Thunder.
disadvantage.
All right, sounds good. Anything else you'd like to do? Bonus action.
No, I already have my bonus action for giant.
That's right. Okay. All right, then we will move on to number 1.
It just says 1d6 extra damage.
Yeah, it's just the extra. It's extra damage of the weapon type.
that he-
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's got to make a save.
Because he's still within 15 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Does make the save this time,
Okay.
so that'll only be
9.
9 damage. Okay. It is going to turn.
Which one?
Number 1. It is going to turn, and it is going to. It's going to lock eyes with Alomah.
Okay.
And you feel yourself starting to like kind of waver in and out of existence. I need you just to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Shouldn't be too hard for you.
It's hopefully not.
Tiny crystal.
Oh, that's a 27.
Okay. Yeah. So you feel yourself kind of like wavering in and out, and then you kind of shield yourself with a little bit of magical power and break the effect on them.
Cool.
Okay. That is all that one is going to do, and then it is Aramis's turn.
Okay. I am going to strum the song Lunara's Tragic Love that I've been writing, and I'm going to cast Fairy Fire.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to cast it so I can hit these two.
Okay. Is that that's any creature in the area, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So who else is it hitting in this case?
Shoot. Right here. Right.
Which one?
If I can angle it where I don't hit Victor.
Yeah, who cares about the halflings?
Yeah, I'll get the halflings. Yeah, they're
Hurl the halflings.
and I'll strum it out.
You'll
It's
just barely miss me.
16
Barely
dex.
miss me then.
Yeah, I'll miss
16
you.
dex.
You and
Okay, I'll do the halflings first.
sorry.
The one on the left makes their save. The one on the right does not.
Okay.
And then we'll do the two others, and this is a dex save. One of them makes it, and the other does not. So number 1 makes it, number 2 does not.
2 is very far.
Yeah, very fine.
All right, and I am concentrating.
Okay, and then anything else you'd like to do?
You need
Yeah,
to,
I'll use some movement and get maybe like halfway.
Halfway between.
Yeah.
Okay.
That boulder looks tempting.
Yeah. Like, what am I gonna do?
All right.
All right.
Moving on to number 2. Number 2 is going to look at Bolt, and you don't feel yourself getting displaced, but instead you feel like it's starting to you feel like it's almost trying to take your time for itself. So I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw, please. Because I know you're great at those.
Amazing at them.
He'd be familiar with
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You are amazing at them. You've dealt with time magic before, and you're able to...
I was 100 years inside of something similar to you.
Yeah, this is like you have no time, more time to give. You should be out of time at this point. Yeah, so that thing did not do anything to you this time. Victor.
Okay. I will attack using
Number 1.
number 1. I will attack number 1 using Cinderhearth.
Okay.
And I'll activate the flame on it if it hits. That is the 11 plus Cinderhearths, which is 11, so 22.
22 will hit.
Okay. So that's 1d4. That's 13 damage for the strike. Plus someone's adjacent to it,
Yeah,
so I
correct.
can sneak attack.
Yep.
13 plus.
24. Not gonna mess with that damage with Piercer.
Okay, 27.
So 27. And then
37.
plus
37.
sorry, 37. And then plus my 2d10s. Wait, wrong ones. How did I take it off? 2d10s. What's a d10 now? I think it's this 8, 10. 1, 2d10 roll. That's an additional 11 damage, fire damage.
So 48 total damage. Okay. Yeah, you slice through the bulk of the body. All of your weapons are magical at this point, so there's no inert effect or anything. It definitely looks like you affect this creature.
Bonus action, I'll cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay. Throw out your Iron Leaf, and it starts spiraling around you.
Plus 2d.
And then it is number 3. And number 3 is going to look at Aramis.
Can you concentration too?
And it is going to try and
This one
steal
doesn't
your
require
time, so I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay.
Mine did the same thing earlier.
Oh, I fail. That was a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like locking me out of my character.
Yeah, and I had to clear cache cookies on my browser before we're good.
So it gains some of your time. It is going to bump up in initiative, actually. As it steals, I don't think it steals yours, draws some of the creature's time into itself, and gains plus 10 to its initiative in initiative order.
Whoa.
Your speed is reduced by half.
Oh,
You
shoot.
can't take reactions,
Oh,
and you can
shoot.
take either an action or a bonus action on your turn, but not both.
Oh, no.
And then while it's stealing time, it gets increased speed and some other things. And then you can repeat the saving throw at the end of your turn, ending the effect on a success. So it's basically just like slowing you down, and it's starting to speed up, taking on more of a form that looks similar to yours. So it's got its own like 2 blades sort of form at this point.
Okay.
And then it is the halfling's turn.
Does anyone know what the heck these things are? That green-skinned woman sent them, I think.
Cassius has never seen them.
No clue.
But she was asking about Ezra's?
Yeah, that's odd.
And we didn't recognize her?
Not particularly.
Okay. Do we recognize her race?
She looked half-elven almost. She had pointy ears, but she did have like the smallest little like tusks peeking out from her lower jaw.
Okay.
So one of the 4 attacks that the halflings, they basically go in on the fairy fired one, hits, and they're going to do. It's not that. It's a D10. D8. 9 damage to number 2, I believe, is the one that's hit, right? Okay. Yep. So they just start like striking in at the creature. They're definitely not nearly as skilled at this as you are. Oh, and they both activate their flaming weapons as well. So I need to do damage for that. Because they know a creature that isn't affected by non-magic stuff when they see it. Hey, that's an extra 6 damage. Nice. And then we go up to the top of the round with Alomah.
Okay. Let's see. I think at this point, since I am... Well... this guy looks like he's maybe 20 feet from me.
Probably.
I'm gonna guess he's not 15, so...
This would be 20.
Yeah, so that sounds about right. The question is... Alright. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move...
Sorry, was number 2 in your range as well?
Yeah, 1 and 2 both were.
Did we roll the saving throw for number 2? I don't think
you did. I think you did number 1.
Okay.
Oh,
2,
you're right. When he started
2,
his turn?
Yeah, number 2 took the Spirit Guardian.
So it was
damage.
19.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna move here so
Okay.
that these two are both like 20 feet away from me. And I'm gonna make a Thorn Whip attack on number 2.
Okay.
And he's fairy fired, right?
Correct.
Yep. So with advantage, that's a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
Nice.
For...
This thing looks like it's about to retaliate against the halflings, and then the Thorn Whip pulls it back.
13 damage.
13.
And yeah, and then I'll move him 5 feet towards me.
Okay. They will make their save this time, so it'll be half damage.
Okay. Oh, I need to roll for a new round.
Yes.
Oh no.
Careful.
Careful with the ship. Better this time, please.
It's falling apart already. We don't need...
Stop blowing holes in my
So
ship.
that's better. 31 damage.
31, wow.
All right.
Okay, so half of that would be 16.
15, right? Round down.
Yes.
And then I will Starry Form number 3.
To try and pull them in as well.
Try and pull.
Perfect.
And
This arena was built for you.
Yeah, it really was.
25.
25 will hit.
Welcome to
Okay.
the Octagon, brother.
And then
5 minutes in the ring.
is going to be 11 damage.
Well, the ship has 6.
But then I'll
more of a hexagon.
I'll move him
This is true.
towards me as well.
Okay. What was the total? On
31.
It does get within 5 feet of Aramis with that.
That does not trigger what it does. It was a 19 to save.
Yeah.
It does make it
Wisdom
save,
save,
so
okay.
it's gonna take 15 from that
15.
as well.
And then I'm just gonna move back here.
Okay.
I don't think I can keep all 3 of them in my area, but I wanna make sure that number 1 and number 2 are both. So I'm gonna kind of tuck myself just behind Bolt and kind of next to the
Cabin.
to the cabin.
Perfect.
And that's it.
Okay. Then it is Bolt's turn.
Okay. I'm going to attack number 2. It's got fairy fire, so advantage. Cool.
Cool.
19 plus 13.
Yeah, that'll hit.
32.
A natural 19.
Yeah.
If it's not gonna hit, you're facing the Tarask. And even that would have hit the Tarask, I think.
Let's see here. 16 thunder damage.
All right.
And then I'm going to attack the other one, number 1.
Okay.
Ooh, crit fail.
Crit fail? Yeah. Yeah, the backhand on number 1 just kind of goes whiffing overhead this time, but the other one you're definitely disrupting.
Kobold flies overboard.
Oh, that's one thing that I completely forgot to talk about. Just a little fun fact. at night, the kobolds climb down the ropes into the little riggings underneath, and they actually stay in those little nest riggings. Yeah, sorry,
Sweet.
I forgot to mention that on the first couple nights here, but it's a fun little thing that I decided to add in there.
As a bonus action, I'm gonna use my defensive field, guarding armor, and then I will my once a day trigger my soul core.
Okay.
And give 9 temporary hit points to everyone, including the 2
Including the halflings.
halflings and Keskes
Nice.
if he counts as being in the battle.
He's just flying the ship at this point,
Yep.
but he'll appreciate the
Yep.
temp.
So 9 extra temps.
Wonderful. Perfect. Then it is number 1, who's going to roll.
Wisdom save.
Does
some
not.
damage.
He's going to take his 31 damage.
All right.
That was a nice roll.
Very worthwhile. That's very good damage.
The first roll was terrible, so that one I got a lot of 8s.
And with no other. Now, number 1 is the one right next to Victor, right?
Yeah.
Right there.
He's going to turn around and continue attacking Victor on this.
He has disadvantage.
Nope.
Oh
he
no,
doesn't.
that's right, because it missed.
Hit.
Yeah.
And he is going to make 4 attacks on Victor,
Oh
actually.
my lord.
Yep. So we've got
Evasion.
We've got a 27 to hit.
It's got to be the 19.
19. Okay, so that's a miss. That's a hit, and that's a miss. So 2 hit. Would you like to do half damage on the first one or the second one, my friend?
Second one.
Okay.
Let the dice decide.
So the first one is 21 bludgeoning damage.
I'm going to intercept that.
Okay.
By the way, I forgot to do this.
You reattuned.
I would have switched out from the helmet.
I would have assumed so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I only do that.
You had a
when-
couple hours of free time.
Yes.
You had a couple days of free time at this point.
Yeah.
And the other attack is only 10 bludgeoning
So
damage.
what was
so half
it? Was
that.
20,
21. So for
21
you,
half.
10.
Okay, I will take that. And
And then 5 after the halving for Victor. Okay.
Nice.
yeah, the Quicksilver or the Ald Steel shield just kind of like flashes out in front of you. And
Takes the first
That's
hit.
exactly what it is.
Swing, swing, swing. And I think I have. Was this? There was a reaction. Give me a second. Rebuke. Was this considered a melee attack?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to use Dancer's Rebuke and spend 2 performance points. Basically, the blades whirled around rapidly, potentially blocking strikes. Oh wait, sorry, reading the wrong one. You may use your reaction to spend 3 performance points to strike back at your foe. For each point spent, the target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw versus your spell save or DC, which is 17, or take 2d6 slashing damage from your bonded weapons. I'll spend 2 points.
2 points, so 2 saving throws.
Is this night or day?
This is just getting to dusk.
Dusk.
Yep. First one's a 24 to save,
Okay, save.
and the second one is a 7 to save. So that one does not save.
Okay, so it's going to take 2d6.
Okay.
Let's roll these dice. 4 and 2, so that's a total of 6 damage.
Well, that's how much you needed. So it hits you, and at the same time, your blades flash out, and you just lop off its head,
Was the one that
and it dissipates.
was that the one that was?
No,
Okay.
that's number 3. That is the one that's going now.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
All right, so it is
Time
number
to die.
3's turn, standing in front of Aramis. He's just going to make a bunch of attacks against you. 3, actually, this time.
Okay.
I'm going to use my reaction to impose disadvantage on the first.
Okay,
the
you flare.
first
Do you want to
attack.
roll your will and woe, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so disadvantage on the first attack here, which means it is only a 14 to hit. Second attack is a 21,
That'll hit.
and the third is a 19.
That'll also hit.
Okay. So the second attack is 18 damage, bludgeoning damage, and the third is 8 bludgeoning damage.
All right. Thanks for those temp HP. That helped out. Soften the blow.
You're welcome.
And then it is your turn. So once again, you can only take a bonus or an action.
Yes.
Not both.
Okay. I'm going to use my movement to get between the two, so I'm not going to take opportunity attack, but get up so I can.
Okay.
Attack
When
number
you
2.
step within 5 feet of the other one, it is going to teleport away. Actually, it has to try and recharge that. So hang on.
Okay.
Well, that is a D20. That's not how you recharge things. It does not recharge. You're good.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna come up behind him and stab number 2 in the back.
Number 2 in the back.
So that's gonna be a 22.
22 will hit.
Or 13 damage.
13. Okay. Second attack.
And then second attack is going to be a 24 to hit for 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay.
Wow.
You have offhand.
Nope.
Nope.
That's
Can't
a
take a
bonus
bonus action.
Yeah. Because he's slow.
Because it's slow,
my
because of the
oh,
effect.
yeah.
Sorry.
You can make another save out of that.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. What was the... It's a wisdom?
Yes.
So that is a 22.
Okay. You finally shake off the... and it slows down as you speed back up.
All right.
Its initiative order is not changed, but the rest fades away.
It doesn't like age you, does it?
No.
I
Not in this
aged
particular
1
case.
minute.
Gray hair.
Yep.
How much gray's in your beard, you know?
After 1 minute, a lot.
That's it?
That was good. Okay, and then it's number 2, which
gotta make a
they're
save.
going to make their wisdom save. They do not make their wisdom save.
31 damage.
31 damage. And where are they? They are going to make some attacks against Bolt. 2 attacks against Bolt. One's a 13
Miss.
and a 14.
Yes.
So, just come swinging it against you, basically just slamming it up against your armor. Yeah. Victor, it is your turn.
Okay. I will. I guess I'll run forward.
Oh, it has to try to attempt to recharge as well.
Actually, it's got Fairy Fire, so I have advantage. So I'll just throw a dagger at it.
'Kay.
This will be with Shadows or Moonfang for this one. So the first is a 12, second is a 4, so 12 plus I think it's 11.
That'll hit.
That'll hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna go with Moonfang.
And this is against number 2,
Okay,
right?
yep. I'm gonna use my Piercer Feat to reroll the dice on that one.
Are you throwing stuff at him?
4! The curse has been broken.
Yes,
Apparently.
so that's going to be 16 total.
16,
And then,
and then-
the sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Plus 29 damage.
Did you run up to it?
45.
No, I
45.
I just threw a
Threw.
dagger. And then, because I get, at least with my throwing, whatever I have, my thrown weapon fighting style, I get the plus 2 to the stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that dagger goes straight through the middle of it and disperses it.
Nice.
It's another one gone.
All right.
Another one bites the dust.
Bites the time
Another one
dust.
bites
Yep.
dust. And that will
Oh,
be
take
this
that back
guy. So if he was right here.
Bites the sands of time, as it were.
Yeah. Shurima. I think for this turn, I will throw out 2 daggers in defensive.
Okay.
And put them at Aramis.
Do you want to end your...
Yeah, I
Okay.
dropped it.
Okay. The
So
fairy
this
fire
one
fades
is
off
no
of it.
longer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tracker pirate, yeah.
Zenry.
That was Clinge and Mist.
Missed. Okay.
And then Moonfang's the one that's another. So
Okay.
yeah, those are 2 are defensive for you.
Zenry is going to rush forward at the last one remaining.
This one? This one.
That one. Yep. And as soon as she gets within 5 feet, it is going to teleport away. And slam right next to Victor again, actually. Because you're the one who's taken out 2 of them so far.
I've been trying to get a hold of you for your time's extended warranty.
So, question.
Yes.
Because he was not within range of
He
you
was not
before,
within, but now he
but
is.
he is now.
Now he'll take the saving throw.
Wisdom save.
Nice.
He does not make his save. He'll
31.
take 31 damage.
Blender.
Yep. And then she's still got movement, so I think she can still get up there.
Yeah, she only moved like
10 or 15.
10.
Yeah, she's got another 15 feet of movement, so she'll make a pair of attacks.
Well, she's an ally technically, so I get +1 AC.
Nice.
'Cause,
Both of them are actually going to hit.
Nice.
Doing very good.
Thanks, NPC.
Two
Thanks, random citizen.
9.
20 total damage to the creature.
You said 20? Yeah, I'll write that down.
Yep. Please. Thank you, DM. And then the other one is... can she squeeze in there too?
She's already right next to
Yeah,
her.
okay, perfect. One of them will miss, and the other... Oh, both of them are going to miss. Darn it. It's a little too tight in there.
Her sister? Did we ever find out if they're related?
Yes, they are sisters. Yep.
Her sister took all
They
the
have the
luck.
same last
Yep.
name.
They share luck.
They share halfling luck between the two of them, yeah. Alomah, it is your turn.
So happens in your twin.
I'm
Apple
gonna
culture.
back up
Share a
5
lot of
feet
stuff.
Okay.
and cast Thorn Whip. Not with advantage. That's a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 12 damage.
12 damage.
And then I'm gonna yoink him 5 feet. Sorry.
Okay.
Yoink.
Puts him back in the aura.
And
I'm assuming?
Yeah.
This is where you cast
This
fire.
would be-
You can react and do a opportunity.
No,
no,
not
force
force.
No,
movement.
force movement, yeah.
Yeah.
Darn.
Okay.
I don't know. I was told by a commenter that forced movement does not do what you think it does.
34 damage.
34.
I think Jeremy Crawford said otherwise.
Yeah, Sage Advice
But-
Compendium begs to differ.
Yeah. So yeah, your ancestors are really tearing it
They
apart.
are.
They're the MVP.
And then my Starry Form Archer
Bolts.
attack is a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 16 damage.
That's enough to take it out.
Nice. Sweet.
Nice.
All right.
All right. So, as you finish off the last of them, kind of this last like dust kind of settles over. The hatch pops open and the kobolds like poke their heads out and they start like sweeping up the dust into bags and repairing what little damage there is to the ship. Keskus goes, anyone know what that was?
I don't know. Someone appeared and said sorry about this.
But they also was asking how many Ezras were on this plane.
Odd.
I remember Ezra. He was a former member of the Watch, correct? I don't remember him. I never met him, but
Yes, he was. In fact, there's actually two of him. It's a weird story, and we probably haven't really got into that. There was some.
My least favorite was the Baker Ezra. He was boring.
But the candlestick maker.
Candlestick one, he had good stories.
This is interesting.
where did that rift come from? And what was that creature? She looked elvish, but
Yeah, so I want to use one of my charges of my soul casing
Okay.
to do fragment of undeniable truth.
Okay.
So I use a charge, and I gain true sight out to 30 feet for 1 minute. And then I also have advantage on persuasion skills. I want to see if I can see any like remnants of this portal left, like
Sure.
to try to like maybe interact with it or figure out if we can contact this woman through it.
Okay.
Figure out what's going on.
Yeah, so you do see the two portals that were made.
Yeah,
one
there's
of
like
them is
so like you see like faint glow from the chest, and it kind of goes
up over the eyes.
up and around, around my face, and then my eyes just kind of glow that rusty magic. I'm just kind of like peer out.
Yeah, you do see like the little fragments of reality. It's funny because even though like the ship has been moving this whole time, the
portal's
portals
staying with
have,
it.
yeah,
It's magic.
yeah, it's magic. And you do notice that like
Hey,
yeah,
I'm coming. Yeah, you cast the portal over and over again.
it does look very reminiscent to time magic that you've seen before. Both Wizard Ezra use and Thulian, you've seen plenty of it. And you do see like the remnants of the second portal. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check since you have True Sight active. We'll see if you might be able to make a connection.
What did they smell like?
Bosco. 18.
18.
Yeah.
Nice. Give
Plus
me a
an
give me a
8, so
perception
26.
check. 26.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's car.
Yeah. Do you think you might be able to send like a message through?
I have message actually as a spell.
Perfect.
So Yeah, I'll send a message and go, strange green-skinned woman, are you still there?
16?
We've defeated
16.
the monsters.
Don't invite her back.
Smelled like Ezra. And she replies back and says, they're all gone? You're all good? Everything's fine?
Where is Israel?
Yes, they've all been defeated.
Great. And then like this kind of like shattering happens and peels back and you see her face. And she goes, I sincerely apologize about that. I promise I will explain everything at a future date. Sound good?
Can you explain anything right now?
Basically, I'm being hunted. Other timelines are being erased. Yours is the primary one. I've got to come back here eventually, but I'm still on the run, and I'll be back at some point. Sound good?
At some time?
Sometime. Exactly. Bolt, you're just as funny in this universe.
Oh,
Victoria is very different, though.
Do we hear anyone here? Or is it just him that hears, or is everybody?
Everybody's hearing this at this point.
Is it like she pokes her head out?
It's sort of like a floating like orb, almost like a Shazam genie thing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Zordon.
Alomah looks over and kind of does like a chuffing laugh, and he's like,
I think I'm going to start calling you Vicky from now on.
Vic was our nickname for her.
I'm oddly
I hope you can tell us
oddly attracted to myself.
as soon as possible.
Right, yes. Obviously, like, things are happening. Again, I really apologize. Thank you for taking care of those.
Please don't do it again.
Of course. I'll see you soon, though.
Okay, that was.
What was your name?
Oh, I'm Urza.
Urza. Related to Ezra?
I guess you could say that. I'm just an alternate version.
Right. This is very strange.
You'll get used to it, and then it's just...
I don't know if I will get used to it, actually.
Okay, with that wonderful revelation, though, I think that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
It's good to know we're on the prime timeline.
Right. Sucks to be everyone else.
Number one.
Number one.
Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. It was a wonderful session. Lots of really good role play. Alomah inspiration. That was really good. If you have it already, you can pass it on.
I do. Does anybody not?
I have it.
I'd landed all of my attacks.
Okay.
So I didn't need it.
Yeah.
Perfect. You can use it for other things, too.
I know, but I think
I don't think we did
I
anything.
don't think I failed a saving throw or anything. So
I did. I should have used it. I just don't think about inspiration all that often.
But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, check out our merch store. It's got some really cool things in there. Check us out
Hats,
on streams.
stickers, t-shirts, I think that's it.
Beanies,
Cups,
mugs,
Dankus West, swim trunks.
Oh, the dankest
laptop bags.
Swass.
Top packs.
Dinger ringing?
Yeah, ring that dinger. Join us on
Twitch and YouTube, Friday at
Fridays,
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Mountain Time.
And I think the last thing is have a great evening or morning.
Or night.
Or
Yep.
whenever.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
see you guys.
Bye.